Deliver with ease on the coast where the light never leaves. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. No drama, just cream, we deliver with ease. On the coast where the light never leaves. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Ghetto cafe in the building, steam rising from the stove. We switching lanes, they don't want it, they just pose for the smoke. If it's about that coffee, we got the roast and the toast. Shots fired from the French press, let it drip slow and boast. Mornings on the west, sun low, but the grind stay woke. Ghetto cafe, steam in the breeze. Cruising through dreams with a mug and some peace. No drama, just cream, we deliver with ease. On the coast where the light never leaves. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam.
Mr. H Havoc on the beat.
Welcome to Coffee with Rios. Grab you some coffee, grab you some tea, grab you some water, grab you a little snack, something to eat. You know what I mean? And enjoy the stream. We sipping coffee with Rios. Yeah, we sipping coffee with Rios. We sipping coffee with Rios. Yeah, we sipping coffee with Rios. Sit down and get some knowledge. Positive vibes only, so leave the nonsense. Learn something new like you in college. And don't forget to pay homage. Let's discuss a life topic like politics or how to build a rocket. Haters gon' hate and try to mock it. So mugs in the chat cause they can't stop it. Leave the drama where it lay, cause I wanna hear what Rios got to say. Don't try to play no games, cause we sippin' with Rios today. We sippin' coffee with Rios. Yeah, we sippin' coffee with Rios. We sippin' coffee with Rios. Yeah, we sippin' coffee with Rios. We sippin' coffee with Rios. Hell yeah, we sippin' coffee with Rios. We sippin' coffee with Rios. Hell yeah, we sippin' coffee with Rios. Enjoy the stream, y'all. Have fun. Remember, no trolling in the chat. Cause you don't get kicked out. We don't play no games over here. Hey Rios, start it.
Mr. H Havoc on the beat.
Welcome to Coffee with Rios. Grab you some coffee, grab you some tea, grab you some water, grab you a little snack, something to eat. You know what I mean? And enjoy the stream. We sippin' coffee with Rios. Yeah, we sippin' coffee with Rios. We sippin' coffee with Rios. Yeah, we sippin' coffee with Rios. Sit down and get some knowledge. Positive vibes only, so leave the nonsense. Learn something new like you in college. And don't forget to pay homage. Let's discuss a life topic like politics or how to build a rocket. Haters gon' hate and try to mock it. So mugs in the chat cause they can't stop it. Leave the drama, wear it late, cause I wanna hear what RIos got to say. Don't try to play no games, cause we sippin' with RIos today. We sippin' coffee with RIos, yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. We sippin' coffee with RIos, yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. We sippin' coffee with RIos, hell yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. We sippin' coffee with RIos, hell yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. Enjoy the stream, y'all. Have fun. Remember, no trolling in the chat, cause you don't get kicked out. We don't play no games over here. Hey RIos, start it.
Mr. H Havoc on the beat.
Welcome to Coffee with RIos. Grab you some coffee, grab you some tea, grab you some water, grab you a little snack, something to eat. You know what I mean? And enjoy the stream. We sippin' coffee with RIos. Yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. We sippin' coffee with RIos. Yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. Sit down and get some knowledge. Positive vibes only, so leave the nonsense. Learn something new like you in college. And don't forget to pay homage. Let's discuss a light topic like politics or how to build a rocket. Haters gon' hate and try to mock it. So mugs in the chat cause they can't stop it. Leave the drama, wear it late, cause I wanna hear what RIos got to say. Don't try to play no games, cause we sippin' with RIos today. We sippin' coffee with RIos, yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. We sippin' coffee with RIos, yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos. We sippin' coffee with RIos, hell yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos.
Yo, my bad, y'all. RIos acting like he's not here right now.
Hell yeah, we sippin' coffee with RIos.
Y'all niggas is so funny, man. Hey, my bad. I was just concentrating. RIos acting like he isn't here. Hey, y'all. What's going on, man? This is the AM Wake Up Show, Coffee with RIos. How's everybody doing? You guys requested the Havoc song. Bring back Sleep, Eat, Sleep. Sleepy Sleep said bring back the Havoc song. You know, Havoc is always right there, one button away, man. Shout out to Havoc. I don't know where he is. If I don't talk, they won't know I'm here. What's going on, man? Shout out to Havoc, man. Hopefully everything is good with that dude. I don't know where he's been, but I know the last that I did the check-in with Havoc, he was on some positive stuff. On his Instagram, he was giving out positive spiritual messages. So hopefully that's where he is, just being a good guy. Being a good guy, moving his product, you know. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in here. Thank you for being here. Grind time. Shit. Mark is in the county? Is he? Nah, Mark bailed out, man. Why we so occupied with the negative of shit? Nigga, like we start our mornings off thinking about nigga being in jail. Shout out to Mark, man. Prayers and blessings to him and his family. Auntie, prayers and blessings to him, family. Her family. Hopefully they all get it together, get on the right page. Justice be served. God will work in everybody's life. Yeah, man. Shout out to Havoc. Actually, I'm gonna pull up, see if Havoc is still around, man. Because I do miss that guy. I do miss Havoc. Maybe bring his ass on for a wake-up show. But blessings to everybody, man. We woke up another day, another opportunity to be a blessing in somebody's life. You know how it go. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. In Jesus' name we pray. Okay. Nope. Last thing was from December 23rd. So if anybody's talked to Havoc, man, tell him we miss him, man. Well, shit, he got 5,000 views on this. Wishing on a star.
My baby might leave me, what I do don't bring no money. Every day she says she love me, but finances acting funny. Applying for these jobs, got denied, when will it stop? Trying hard to reach the top, but I get blocked after block. Angels telling me to chill, but my baby need a meal. Need the blessings to spill, so I can pay all my bills. As I wish on a star, God lead me at the start. Put your love in my heart, so please.
I gotta put the mic and headphones on for this.
On the star, God lead me at the dark. Put your love in my heart, so please do your part. As I wish on the star, God lead me at the dark. Put your love in my heart, so please do your part. She angry and fed.
Shout out to my Havoc. You know, they got Havoc rated #1. That's February 18th. Yeah, February 18th, I believe. That was the latest. That was the latest update from Havoc, man. Uh-oh. Having trouble playing that video. The hell? What is going on? I don't even know what's happening right now, man. There we go. We back in the building. So shout out to that just made me think, like, these cats. When you think about Pun, AD, and everything that they've done, like, think about all the characters that have been generated through their shows, through community. God damn, you think about Slow Cuh, Crazy Cuh, MN, Auntie, Illa, Ace Boys, Damo, the one gambling cat, the little dude with the wave cap. A whole bunch has been created through there, man. So shout out to everybody that's come through and been a part of the situations or whatnot. But I'm just, that's what Havoc got me thinking of. Like, damn, think about all the people that have actually been little stars or broke through the situation. But before we get to that, man, I just want to say shout out to everybody in here. This is the Ghetto Cafe. This is the AM Wake Up Show, Coffee with Rios, #1 morning show in the whole wide world. Craig, in the whole wide world. Get your coffee, get your tea. Me, I came to there. Fred, Manny, everybody. That's it. They, and you think that shit all stemmed off from the white dude? He could have had, damn, could have had a whole conglomerate of motherfuckers where you ain't got to be talking about all the gang banging, gossip, drama shit all the goddamn time. But we're here. We're nor here. We're nor there. I didn't say Andy John. If you think about him, I said I'm thinking about what was created, how many people came through it, and how many opportunities were created. You don't have to think about it. That don't, just because you don't think about it, don't make it that the opportunity didn't exist. Trying to give them a shout out, man. Like, they have created plenty of opportunities for other people. It don't have to be like, oh, I don't think about them. We think about the main host. They've created opportunities, and I'm not going to minimize or marginalize the effort and what was done. That shit is kind of tight. If you really take the time to think about that shit. But yes, let's get to it. Let's get to excuses and reasons why I was not here at 5 a.m. Oh man, I did wake up early, but I did not have the energy because Cristiano, what's up? Super chat. Let's go. Appreciate you.
Shout out to the ladies on Apollo. Tears of joy.
Tears of joy. Let me see. Why do I keep getting the double messaging? The double talk. I'm gonna see if that fixes it. I don't know. Shout out ladies on Apollo. Shout out to the ladies being on Apollo again. Characters being created out of all of this stuff. People getting opportunities. Dogface. That's why I'm late this morning, because of that cat. That nigga right there, Dogface. I'm late because of him. He had me doing R files last night all the way to 12 o'clock. Doing R files, and I was getting some call-ins. And you know what? I need to check my TikTok also now that I'm thinking about it. Got call-ins last night. We doing the Candace Owens. We're going over the Bride of Charlie segments and episodes. And I think she might be done now. I think it's done. It's like tapped out at 8 episodes. But we are having a ball on our files, man. Late night episode. Didn't mean for it to be that late, but it was a late night episode. But we're having a ball, enjoying the content, the dialogue. She's talking about some real shit that we looking up, researching, and it all. The thing that came to mind is that Barbara Bush, George Bush's wife, is the offspring of Aleister Crowley. Our files tonight, yes. Our files tonight, yes. Our files tonight. Anya and Javonda, man, let's get to them. Let's get to them before we get into the messaging for today. And the messaging from today is from Abraham to Armageddon. Shout out Cali Bags, I see you in here. Shout out Leon. Shout out Sleepy Sleep, Andy John, B Fly 100. Everybody that's in here. Cali Bucks. Yeah, and I was talking about going from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. yesterday. I got so tired. I was eating popcorn on my live. I was done. Oh shit. But here we go, man. Oh wait, did I give my shout out to Javon and Anya? Did I say something? Shout out to them being on Apollo. Shout out to Apollo for having them. That was big time. I really appreciate it. Shout out to MacWap for always doing stuff like that, man. Like making everybody being a part of the program. And it includes the inclusion. That shit is dope. What up, Alberto? What up, Ohio Ties? Hey, Ohio, man. Was you in there last night? Was you in there last night? I don't even think you was in there last night, man. Talking about we knew that wasn't gonna happen. Another super chat. Love my life. Super chat. Thank you.
No excuses, RIos.
There we go. I finally got it. I finally got it to where it's no double talk. Yes. Boom. Got it. Got it, y'all. Finally, no double talk. Thank you for Love My Life. Thank you for the super chat. For the TTS on the super chat. And I didn't get no double talk. That's what I'm talking about. We're getting better every day. No excuses. I'm still here. I'm still here. Not gonna say how long I'm gonna be here. Not gonna say how long I'm gonna be here, but I was here last night, and I'm here this morning. Shout out to us, man. Shout out to the Ghetto Cafe. Shout out to the AM Wake Up Show at RIos. Shout out to y'all, man. The chat, number one chat. You know the funny shit is that I've been seeing and that I've been hearing? My daughter, my son, they'll be like doing something. Like just as example, it was my daughter and her soccer team that was over here. And I heard one of them in the mirror or like getting dressed, and they was like, chat, what do you think? Like they be saying the chat like they talking to a fucking chat in real life. Like, chat, what do you think of the outfit? I was like, oh shit, streaming has gotten so big and so relevant in our kids' lives that they talking to the chat like joking, like, chat, what this fool tripping, huh, chat? I'm like, my nephew, my son, my daughter, like, oh shit, streaming is the place to be. So y'all better start streaming. Get on a streaming service. Ozzy had a song named Mr. Crowley. Yeah, man, that black metal, whatever, metal, rock and roll, all that shit. Yeah, man. Chat, what you think? What you think of this June 19th from Chains and Whips to Whips and Chains? From Chains and Whips to Whips and Chains. We went from Chains and Whips to Whips and Chains. Love that shit. Yeah, people who don't even have chat say chat now. Like, hey, chat, what you think about this? What's going on? Oh, shit. Well, let's go. Okay, hold on. So we are all aware of what's going on in the world, man. We are all aware of what's going on in the world, and we're going to discuss it in the AM Wake Up Show. But I feel like we have been getting caught up too much in the present, too much in the now, and not really backtracking to where all this shit started. Because we get so much information fed to us through social media that we're just believe this is the situation. Oh, what they said is true. What he said it, so it must be real. We have to do our due diligence and do our own history and reading and figuring out, okay, we have a war between this country, but what is the reason? This country is practicing this religion. This country is practicing this religion. Do you guys know what Shia is? The religion is a part of Islam. And that's Iran. They all practice Shia. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Shia and the Sunni and the split and why they split, why there's different segmented parts of Islam and the Muslim countries. Why Israel is doing what I think they're doing, why Zionists are acting the way they're acting, why Christians are getting behind Israel. What is their beliefs? What is going on? What if, what if the war that's right now we're watching today started 3,000 years ago? What if this what we're seeing right now started 3,000 years ago? Missiles flying across the Middle East, Israel preparing for a wider war, Iran promising retaliation, the United States watching closely and involved in the war, supplying all the missiles, the ammunition, the defense. We're supplying it, we're supporting it. What if all this shit stemmed from 3,000 years ago? And the shit reminds me of us being involved, supplying weaponry, supplying missiles, and all that shit. It reminds me of, I always go to Marvel. Got to go to Marvel. When Tony Stark got captured in the Middle East and they wanted him to build them missiles. I feel like that's how they feel, that Tony Stark is the representation of the American defense. You know what I mean? Like in the ugliness of weaponry. Tony Stark gets caught. Oh, build us this missile. Then he has to get out of there. But his name is on all those missiles, all those rockets. It's death. When you could be creating shit for good. But leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, Donald Trump, and the leadership of Iran are now at the center of a geopolitical storm. It's a geopolitical storm. Are they creating chaos in the Middle East so that it creates unstable relations, destabilize the Middle East while we're trying to solidify the Western Hemisphere? The Don Roe doctrine, which was the Monroe Doctrine, but now we're stabilizing the Western Hemisphere, all while creating a war in the Middle East, in the eastern portion, creating all this turmoil while we're solidifying our shit. We're trying to get Venezuela. Yeah, I say we because it's we. We are a part of this shit. We pay into it. Get our shit solid, get our shit cracking, and then just set they shit up for destruction. All while still following the prophecy of the family that connects all three: Islam, Christianity, Judaism. It all stems from Abraham. All of it. This war, it didn't begin with politics. What if it began 1,000 years ago with 1,000? What if it began 1,000 years ago with one family? What if it started thousands of years ago with one family, one man, and a promise? Let's go. Welcome to the AM Wake Up Show, baby. Welcome. Right now, we're watching another war escalate in the Middle East. Every morning, we're seeing bombs. We're seeing, this is what happened to Iran. This is what Iran's latest counterattack. These people are passing away. And the propaganda is selling it how they selling it. Like the United States, America, and Israel are just dominating on one side. And then on one side, you got people saying, oh, Iran is doing this, doing that. Iran is destroyed Tel Aviv. And they're saying now that if you speak and show what's happening in Tel Aviv, that they will fine you $5,000 and possibly jail you if you reveal what's actually happening out there. Why is that shit so important? Why do you have to have your appearance have to show up in a way that you don't have nothing bad? That's a part of war, right? You have bad things happen to you. You don't even want to share that shit. You guys want to look invincible. What up, man? R32, we back up in here. Missiles crossing borders. Military alliances forming. Nations preparing for something that could reshape the region, the whole region of the Middle East. On one side, you have Iran, a powerful Shia Islamic state that positions itself as a defender of resistance against Israel and Western influences. They are literally saying, this shit is crazy. I don't know if I have it, but they're literally calling the United States of America the cabinet of Epstein, the Epstein government. The people that run our country are being called the Epstein government, the Epstein protectors. The fact that somebody on the other side of the earth can call our shit that is so fucking pathetic and ridiculous that we are aligned to these people, to these monsters. The Epstein cabinet. And so that doesn't do anything but fuel the war. Like, nah, man, we're not fighting the United States of America. We're fighting to free people from this ugliness. Those people are underneath some ugly shit. So this war is not just for us, it's for everybody. Damn. I got some videos to watch. We're not gonna watch them yet. Not gonna watch them yet. And standing behind Israel, the closest ally is the United States. The two youngest countries are creating the most havoc on earth. Not even country, a state. Israel's a state. United States of America and Israel. And Israel's telling us what to do, got us acting up. What they got on Trump? Two people against the world, two countries against the world. And we're a part of that fucking country against the world. We've always said shit like, damn, man, the world can't stand us. The world think we stupid. The world, they think we disgusting. Like, if you say that shit right now, it couldn't be any closer to the truth. Donald Trump is being praised by some supporters as someone capable of bringing peace to the Middle East. How can you bring peace to the Middle East? Who are you to bring peace? They didn't ask for you to come liberate them, to bring peace. And you know what that peace sounds like to me? That border peace? Y'all heard about the border peace, right? He's saying the border peace is now going to be overseeing the United Nations. World peace, border peace, new world order. Do y'all see it coming? Do y'all hear it? Do you feel the similarities and the shit following suit? Let me see if I can pull this up for y'all. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, well, actually, let's pull up something real quick. We're going to pull this up, watch this real quick, and we'll continue.
What role in the Middle East again does Israel play in this?
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy, a war that will be so terrible, where nuclear weapons will be used, so that the American citizens and the other people in the world will get down on their knees and beg for no more war. And what is the answer to that? They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations.
This dude is gone. This is a whistleblower. Maybe the first whistleblower I ever knew about. This dude is gone. Rest in peace. He was talking about some real shit a long time ago.
And we come together as one humanity in a one world government.
Right. Okay. And the Jewish people were then being manipulated into believing it was for some other reason.
That's correct. They've always been manipulated. And I get people who still come to me all the time and say, Bill, you're all wrong. It's the Jews. The Jews are subverting the world. Man, it's not the Jews, it's not the Catholics, it's not the blacks. It's these men who belong to the ancient mystery schools, who meet in secret and decide the fate of the world. And they belong to all different races and all different nationalities and all different religions to the public point of view. But in secret, it's a different story. At the highest level of all countries, they all belong to the same club. And we, the people, sit back and we watch this grand drama.
We the people. I'm right down the street from Hollywood. Right where it is all happening, where the propaganda started, where they push and solicit their messaging. Right there. Hollywood. Hollywood is one of the dirtiest, most sickest places in the world. I was in Hollywood. I did production assistant. I was in the set lighting technician, local 728 for a while. They have their own set of rules. They live their own life.
Which is being played out for our benefit. Not theirs. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't even have to do any of this. But you see, they just can't come out and destroy all of us because they need slaves. They need people to make their shoes, and make their cars, and mine the ore. They need worker bees, and that's what we are. In the New World Order, we will be the worker bees, the slaves.
What role in the Middle East again does Israel play in this?
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy.
What we say earlier, Abraham to Armageddon. Abraham to Armageddon. Why is my, there we go. Oh, it is working. Okay, it's just stuck there. Okay. Abraham to Armageddon. Abraham to Armageddon. So on one side, you got Bibi and you got him. Well, let me stop. You got one side, you got Israel. And you got them backed by United States of America, so-called the greatest military force on earth. And on the other side, you have Iran, a powerful Shia Islamic state, who not their whole foundation, not their whole belief, but their whole thing is a martyrdom. What just happened to their supreme leader was martyrdom. What happened in the Battle of Karbala was martyrdom. They are saying that they're trying to frame it as if Donald Trump is the political figure who will play a role in fulfilling prophecy or stabilizing the region. The Board of Peace, he is indefinitely the leader of Board of Peace. The Board of Peace that will, let me pull that shit up so I'm not just talking outside of my neck so you guys can actually see. The Board of Peace is a U.S.-led international entity proposed by Donald Trump in September 2025 and established in January 2026 to oversee the Gaza ceasefire and reconstruction. That's all that the motherfucker care about is the reconstruction. He said, we're going to put up resorts over here by the ocean. It's beautiful. We're going to make it look so beautiful. It's going to be the most beautiful place in the world. Acting as a parallel, non-universal body to the United Nations, chaired by Trump, it operates via a pay-to-play model. You have to pay as much as you weigh. Does she pay like she weigh? Chaired by Trump, it operates via pay-to-play model with members pledging funds for, and in some cases, military personnel to a stabilization force with roughly 20 to 26 countries joining as of early 2026. I didn't even know that many countries joined. Initially created to manage the Gaza peace plan, has expanded to handle other global conflicts due to the views that the UN is ineffective. Look at this, structure and governance. The structure and governance. Donald Trump is the permanent chair. The permanent chair of the Board of Peace forever. until he dies, well, never mind, with veto power over decisions and the authority to name his successor. If that shit ain't crazy, with the New World Order, I'm going to just call that shit the New World Order. If they are here to lend a helping hand to whoever pays, so whoever pays the most, you pay to play. Whoever pays the most is going to have the protection. That's how I see it. I don't know how you guys see it. Do you guys see it like that? Handle other global conflicts due to views that the UN is ineffective. But a pay-to-play board to handle these global conflicts. Pay to play. Funding and memberships. It is a pay-to-play structure where members must pay $1 billion to secure a permanent seat. The U.S. committed $10 billion with additional billions pledged by other nations. He used our money. The $10 billion was taxpayers' money. Where did the $10 billion come from, Donald? Where did the $10 billion come from? Involved nation, key members. The first name, Argentina. What's up with Argentina? The $40 billion that Donald gave them if they elected Milei. They're just about to have a board of peace thing in Florida. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE, Hungary, and Israel. The major U.S. allies like France, the UK, and Germany have not joined. BRICS got their asses fired up. Damn. This is incredible. Permanently chair. Remember that. Donald Trump is permanent chair. Who cares about the permanent presidency if I could be the permanent chair of the New World Order, the world peace, and then I get to name my successor when I feel like I'm done? Who's going to be the successor? Barron Trump? He gets to name whoever it is. Jared Kushner? Stephen Miller? Pam Bondi getting caught up in all kind of shit. That real estate shit in Florida. Let me see if somebody gonna talk about some shit that I ain't.
The United Nations logo, except that it's gold and it has the United States at the center rather than showing the whole world. And this really tells us a lot about President Trump's approach to foreign policy. The Board of Peace started out last fall as an international entity that was supposed to oversee the implementation of the Gaza peace deal. And then over the last couple of months, it became clear that the administration's ambitions for it were much greater. Officials in the Trump administration have been very direct in saying that they're doing this because in their view, the UN doesn't work.
I'm a big fan of the UN potential, but it has never lived up to its potential.
We've seen around 20 countries say they will join the Board of Peace. Countries like Israel, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Hungary, Belarus, Indonesia, countries that are looking for more influence here in Washington. Countries can pay $1 billion into the organization in order to secure permanent membership. And that, of course, reflects the money talks kind of approach of this administration, that foreign policy is not about values, it's about deals. It's also notable who hasn't joined and why. We've seen almost no NATO allies of the US join. They see it essentially as an illegitimate rival to the United Nations. This Board of Peace initiative also really shows us how President Trump is determined to put himself rather than institutions at the center. In the charter of the Board of Peace, he is named as the inaugural chairman. He is the one who can invite members, designate his successor, veto decisions, and even dissolve the board entirely. And perhaps most remarkably, Trump can stay chairman even after his presidency ends. The Board of Peace is really turning out to be a test of how much Trump really can reshape the world order in his image.
Did y'all ever think about what world order was? Like world order, new world order. How the world operates, how you can affect the world. Are they using Trump as a puppet? Like, let's see how much this fool can get away with. Let's literally see how much this dude can get away with, because right now he's killing it. He's getting all the shit done that we need to do. How has he got a board of peace overseeing the United Nations with a permanent seat, and gets to name his successor when he's not the president, and you have to pay $1 billion to get in? He paid $10 billion of our money to start this shit. Like, this ain't no shit just made up out of thin air. And then you got people saying that he's here to fulfill the prophecy. What does Antichrist do? Antichrist poses in a mask. He has a mask on as if he's the face of peace. But he's not. And then he walks through the temple. That they have to. Let's not get into that just yet. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody who is here watching. Thank you. I appreciate you. This is the Wake Up Show, Coffee with Rios, number one morning show in the whole wide world, Craig. Whole wide world, Craig. Pay attention. But also like, subscribe. Do anything you can. Become a member. About to have some membership lives, membership, all kind of shit. Membership movie watch parties. I figured something out. We're going to have some watch parties. We're going to be watching some movies. Membership watch parties, movies. Get your popcorn, get your drink, get your smoke on, whatever it is. We're going to have watch parties in the membership section. So this is Society of Freedom Media. This is Society of Freedom Media. This is our channel. This is our network. If you want to be a part of it, please subscribe, become a member, send a super chat. It all helps this independent platform speak about the things that we're speaking about, being honest without any outside influence. What you guys talking about? We see this orange MF. W Rios. Oh, you can't see the video? Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw the video. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So they think he's fulfilling the prophecy. This is dangerous. If you don't understand why it's dangerous, you out of your mind. They said keep church and state separate, right? Keep church and state separate for a reason, because then you start fighting wars in the name of your God. My God loves me more than your God loves you. My God versus your God. Oh, we the chosen people. We supposed to have this. That's the dangers. Church and state separate. They mistaken power for destiny. The mistake of switching power and destiny is you start doing things in the name of. I'm doing this in the name of. Not for the people, but because it's not for the betterment of the people. It's for the one above. He told me to do this, and this is Thanos having a message like he says, snap my finger and get rid of half of existence. And it's better for the world. This is what I believe. What we're watching is not just another geopolitical conflict. It's not just another geopolitical conflict. What we're watching is the latest chapter of a story that began thousands of years ago. And it started, the roots of conflict may go all the way back to one family, one man. And his name is Abraham. Do y'all not know who Abraham is? Do you guys know about the Abrahamic religions? Of course you do. The Abrahamic umbrella. Y'all like to use the word umbrella so much. The Abrahamic umbrella fathered these three religions. Abraham and his promise. Central to the creation of Judaism, Jewish. Central to the creation of Christianity. Central to the creation of Islam. They all believe. All three believe. And all three are running the world right now. And I just talked to y'all last night about Trump rededicating the United States of America to Christianity. It's a nations of religion versus each other. He trying to compete with nations and states that are religious. He's turning ours into one. When there is so many religions within the United States, there's so many Muslims within the United States, how are you going to dedicate a whole country to that? Let me see if I can find the video.
Look, President Trump says that he wants to see America become more faithful than it has ever been before. Let's take a listen.
We are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people... It's not like people ain't supporting this, you guys. That's the other crazy thing. It's not as if people don't want this. There are people out there. You hear them clapping? You hear them clapping? Yes. One nation under God. What God? What religion? Remember in that movie Civil War? They was like, I'm American. He said, what kind of American are you?
You can hear that applause pretty loudly there. He says religion is essential for a great nation, noting the boost we've seen in church attendance. And he said that there has to be a reason for why we're here.
And I've always said, you just can't have a great country if you don't have religion. You have to believe in something. You have to believe that what we're doing, there's a reason for it.
He's seeing the dedication of these other countries, the way that he wants a dedicated country that will bow to his will, that will beg and plead and thank him for his egregious behavior. And he wants people to go out there. He wants people to be slaves and people to go out there and sacrifice their lives for the religion or whatever he believes in or what he doesn't believe in. Because I remember Trump saying he's not a Christian.
There has to be a reason for it. We're all working and we're behaving. I mean, I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble.
You behave. Do you hear this? Like, am I tripping? This dude with the felonies, the felon president, says he behaves. He considers the shit that he does is behaving. The nigga is rubbing elbows with Epstein. It has reports of little girls that he took advantage of. This is why the rest of the world is laughing. This is the guy who is bringing in religion to your country. This is the one who says that we need to believe in God more. We need to have a more religious country, all while he's doing the most disgusting shit. And his friends are the most disgusting people in the world, all while murdering people across the world. I think it's up to 75 little girls in that first, and they try to blame that shit on Iran. And now that they can't even say that it wasn't the United States of America. They have evidence. They have all kinds of shit saying it was us. And when I say us, I mean Israel too, because they are us. We are bending to their will. But Antichrist will come and act as if he is something else. And all three, just like Caliback said, all three religions believe in what's coming. I told you, the Christianity, these evangelicals, you guys be talking about pimps and all this shit, how the pimps went to pastors and this and that. KKK went to being pastors too and priests. Those racists, that they went somewhere too. They became police officers and shit. If you ain't worried or if you ain't thinking about this shit right now, I don't know what to tell you.
He makes everyone laugh, doesn't he? Alex, many signs at the moment that religion is really making a comeback. A lot of people returning to church, certainly after Charlie Kirk's death.
There are a lot of signs of that. And so for many years, religious attendance and identification with Americans being Christian primarily has been falling. That has recently started to reverse. And when I see something like this, I anticipate the reaction, the backlash, because that's what I grew up with 20 years ago. But we've had 20 years of going in the wrong direction, in the other direction, of getting religion more and more out of public life.
In my own capacity as an adult,
So they started with the 10 Commandments in Texas. Remember, they wanted the 10 Commandments in Texas. In every room, they want the 10 Commandments. This country wasn't started by Christianity. This country had indigenous people here already anyway. If we want to go all the way there, this is an indigenous people country. There's original people that were here that believed in something very different than Christianity. Dude, this shit, like, it's just happening so fast that I can't even, like, I don't even know if my brain is like really wrapped around what's actually happening right now. It's happening so fast. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at what the latest shit is in Iran and Israel and the latest in the war today. Shit's happening so fast and so quick. Like, but let's get to the families and Abraham and how Abraham was promised his people be taken care of. He birthed, so from him, so he had a baby with Hagar, and that was Ishmael and Isaac. Isaac and Ishmael. If you guys don't know that, maybe I'll pull up a video that will explain a little bit better than how I'm explaining it. Can break it down a little bit better. But Isaac and Ishmael. One is said to have started, Ishmael said to have started the Arabic bloodline. Isaac is, the descendants of Isaac are Judaism. Jewish people. Israel from Isaac. But Isaac also had two sons, Esau and Jacob. Jacob supposedly stole Esau's blessings twice. Esau was starving, and he said he would give his blessing to Jacob. He took advantage of him, and Jacob took his blessing. Then one time, Jacob dressed up as Esau when his dad was on his deathbed. When I believe Jacob was on his deathbed, and he dressed up and faked and put shit on his arm to make it feel like he was Esau, and took his blessing right on his deathbed from his brother. In Jewish and Christian tradition, the covenant continues through Isaac. In Islamic tradition, becomes an ancestor of Arab peoples who feel, I don't know if they feel this way, but shit, I would feel like shit. Jacob stole our blessing through connivingness, through greed, conniving. What is that? What is greed and being conniving and dirty? What does that sound like? Many people across the Middle East right now still culturally and spiritually identify with these ancient lineages. They identify right now to these ancient lineages. Right now, the Israel don't want to take blood tests. They don't want to take DNA tests to show the world who really is of the lineage, because they ain't the originals. So let me ask you guys this. Let me pull up a video, then I'm going to ask you guys this. But as I pull up this video, did the spiritual lineage of Abraham shape the identity of modern nations? Do you guys think that shaped the modern nations and the identities? Like, oh, I'm this because of this. I'm this because of this person. God promised this to him. Oh, this person stole this thousands of years ago. What do y'all feel? How do y'all feel? Better question. How do you guys feel that this is tied in to today's present? What's actually happening right now? And even the story of how Ishmael came around versus versus Isaac, because he had to have he couldn't have no babies. Abraham was old as shit and he was trying to have babies. So he had a midwife, Hagar. He had a baby with Hagar, but then his real wife actually did end up getting pregnant, and Hagar and Ishmael fled. Let me see if I can pull up a quick video. If I pull up a video, it's going to be super biased.
Welcome to a special replay of the best of Pursuing God with Gene Apple.
Fuck, I don't want to play like some super biased shit. Let me see. Let's see what AI got. Let's see what AI got for us. Yeah, this motherfucker be having AI be having all kinds of views, man. Damn. The forgotten son of Abraham, Ishmael, who birthed the Arab nations. Let's see how this one does.
In the middle of nowhere, a woman decides to abandon her dying son. This decision was not driven by cruelty. The poor mother was unable to bear the sight of her son's suffering. Distressed, she places him under the shade of a bush and starts distancing herself, her heart breaking with each step. Consumed by grief and helplessness, she left her voice in a silent plea to the heavens, but received an unexpected answer.
Damn, they not going to talk about before what happened, why she ran, why she fled? Because she feared for the life of her son because he was the first son? Like, let me see if it gets into it.
A few years before the desert scene, Sarah and Abraham embarked on a journey from Ur of the Chaldeans to Canaan, motivated by God's promise for Abraham to become the father of a great nation. Despite the magnitude of this promise, the couple faced a significant challenge. Sarah was barren, unable to bear children, a situation that weighed heavily on them both. As years passed, the fulfillment of God's
Don't worry about
promise
color.
seemed increasingly distant.
Don't get caught up in that. That's how they keep us confused.
Sense of desperation and inadequacy. In her quest for a solution, Sarah turned to a practice that was not uncommon in their culture, offering her servant as a surrogate. Hagar, an Egyptian maidservant acquired during their sojourn in Egypt, became the focus of Sarah's plan. Sarah proposed that Abraham take Hagar.
It was the wife. It was Sarah's idea. Ooh, women be playing a part too, huh? Women be playing a part too. Sarah's idea. You know what? I can't do this, but we need to fulfill this prophecy. We need to have a son. God promised your son this and that. What we gonna do? Oh shit, get her ass. Get her over here. Make her do something she don't want to do.
Hoping that if Hagar bore a child, it could be considered hers, thereby fulfilling the divine promise. Abraham recognized the depth of Sarah's despair and agreed to take Hagar as his concubine, and it worked as planned. Hagar became pregnant. But what Sarah did not consider when
Hagar supposedly birthed the father of Arab nations.
formulating this plan was the darkness of human nature, including her own. Driven by jealousy and perhaps regret over her decision, Sarah began to
Common theme here, man. Common theme. Women be getting jealous. How it be your idea? How the hell is this your idea? You the one that formulated this plan. How are you mad at the idea and get jealous and then wreak havoc on people because of what you did? This wasn't my idea. Hagar's like, I didn't want to do this. You told me about this. You came and got me and said, do this for my husband. Everything went exactly according to your plan. Everything went according to her plan. But what she didn't take into consideration is her ugly ass inside woman feelings, jealousy.
treat Hagar harshly, transforming her daily existence into one of unbearable hardship. Abraham, though aware of the situation, did not intervene, saying to Sarah, "Your servant is in your hands. Do with her whatever you think best." This left Hagar feeling utterly alone and without recourse within the household, prompting her desperate escape to the desert in search of relief from her suffering and a hope for a better future for her unborn child.
Fled because of the unbearable treatment.
In the arid expanse of the desert, Hagar found herself alone and pregnant. Despair gripped her heart as she wandered, burdened by uncertainty and fear for the life she carried within her. Tired, she decided to rest.
I'm not tripping on this. Has AI been coming with it? I usually avoid AI videos. I don't even watch them. But the last couple of episodes, I've pulled up an AI thing. And that shit, I actually like watching it better than watching some of these people, man.
By a spring of water. Suddenly, the silence of the desert was broken by a divine presence that would change the course of her life. An angel of the Lord appeared before her. The angel's voice pierced the solitude, calling her by name. Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going? His words, both an inquiry and a gentle admonition, prompted Hagar to reveal the depth of her anguish and the reason for her flight. The angel then issued a command that must have seemed as daunting as it was unexpected. Go back to your mistress and submit to her. The directive was not a call to return to the source of her suffering, but rather a reassurance of God's watchful presence over her and her unborn child. The angel unveiled a promise. Hagar's descendants would be too numerous to count, a blessing that echoed the covenant God had made with Abraham. The angel also revealed to Hagar
Are you okay?
that she would bear a son whose name would be Ishmael, meaning God hears. It was a divine testament to her seen and acknowledged suffering. Reassured by the divine promise,
ZG, see how you only focused on one woman and just call all of them bad, but you didn't focus on the one that was getting done bad? Hey, man, sometimes we say things that's very revealing.
Hagar returned to Abraham's household and gave birth to a son. Following the divine command, they named him Ishmael. While this meant that Hagar's misery should have come to an end, it was actually the beginning. 13 years later, 3 divine messengers manifested as human visitors at Abraham and Sarah's tent. One of the visitors, identified by the narrative as the Lord, delivered a message that would alter the course of their lives. I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son.
Sarah, old as dirt. Old as dirt. Did all this devious shit. And then now look, God about to bring her. She did all the ugly shit before God. This is how you be working too hard and doing too much shit before your blessing actually gets there. Sometimes that shit is en route. Sometimes that shit is en route on its way, but you be so impatient that you chase a woman and her baby out into the desert.
Sarah, overhearing this conversation from the tent, reacted with a mixture of disbelief and amusement. Yet the Lord, aware of Sarah's laughter and her inner thoughts, responded with a question that underscored the power behind the promise. Is anything too hard for the Lord? As promised, Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son. He was named Isaac, which means he laughs. But Sarah quickly realized that her son, being the second, can't be the heir and won't benefit from God's promise of being the father of a nation. Ishmael was now an obstacle, and she needed to get rid of him and of his mother. Sarah waited for the right opportunity. She observed Ishmael playing in a way that she interpreted as threatening for her son. Sarah approaches Abraham with a painful demand. Get rid of that slave woman and her son.
And this is something I truly believe. We're going to continue this. They have just recently acknowledged that trauma is passed down through the DNA. Trauma is passed down through the DNA. So that means the victims, what they went through is passed down through their DNA and remember as memory and history is remembered in the blood. What about the abuser? This is the question. Ishmael's mother was tormented, tortured. Ishmael, that shit's passed down through Ishmael. The memory of how people treated him, her, all that. But what about the abuser? So we're going to say that the trauma is passed down genetically, but the abuser's abuse is not passed down genetically. The way they behave, they shit is not passed down. The ugliness of them is not passed down. Sarah was an ugly person. Sarah was very ugly. Was that shit, the ugliness and the deceitfulness and the sickness of her heart and her soul and her spirit, was that shit not passed down to her lineage through DNA? Why do we don't talk about that? Why we only talk about the victims being passed down, they shit being passed down? But the abuser, the predator, the monster, they not passing down their monster gene?
For that woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac. This request plunges Abraham into deep distress. Ishmael is not only a child he has loved and raised for nearly 14 years, he is also...
And it's not really Bible study. This is just literally like what I started this morning with, was saying, like, you have to understand the way people think. Why do they believe this? Why do they think this way? Or why did the rift? Why did the split happen? Because even if we don't believe in exactly what they believe, you still should know what they're going off of, what they're basing shit off of. Because the story is, to this day, to present time, you line that shit up. And that's what we're going to be here all day today, just so you know. If y'all want to leave, you can leave. I'm going to be here for a long time. Come back, go to break, come back. I'll still be here.
So his firstborn. Abraham turns to God for guidance, and the Lord reassures him, telling him to listen to Sarah because God's covenant would be established through Isaac. However,
Keem Sideburns, I don't even know if I mess with you, man. I don't know if I mess with you, man. I've been seeing you being slick and doing stuff, man, saying things that I do not like. I do not like. But thank you for supporting and being here. But the jury's out.
God also promises that Ishmael, being Abraham's offspring, would not be forgotten and would become a nation because of his lineage from Abraham.
Keem Sideburns.
Amid the pre-dawn hours,
If this was
Hagar
prison,
and his
nigga.
son Ishmael were sent forth into the desolation of the wilderness. Abraham, with a heart burdened by sorrow and obedience, provided them with meager provisions, water and bread. As the wilderness of Beersheba stretched endlessly, Hagar stood as a mother determined to protect her son. However, as the sun climbed higher, their water dwindled, and Hagar started realizing the dire state Ishmael was in, dehydrated and exhausted by heat. Hagar realized that her son was not just tired, he was dying.
Yep.
And there was nothing she could do. Hagar faced the most agonizing decision of her life.
Imagine that right there, right? That shit is crazy rough. That's just horrible. Like seeing your child pass away or your child right in front of your eyes dwindling. That's what some of the mothers coming from South America be going through. Hundreds of them. Every year, hundreds of them going through that shit. Seeking a better living, seeking a better life, trying to flee from turmoil. And in them deserts, these deserts out here is just as bad. Like, it's horrible. They be trying to find water and they looking at their kids suffering and struggling. It's real life shit. That shit wasn't just happening 3,000 years. That shit's happening today. Not as much, but.
Unable to bear the sight of her son's suffering, she placed him under the scant shade of a bush and distanced herself, her heart breaking with each step. There, consumed by grief and helplessness, she lifted her voice in a silent plea to the heavens, her tears a testament to the depth of her despair. The divine answered. An angel of the Lord called out to Hagar. "Do not be afraid," he said, "for God has heard the boy crying as he lies there." With a command to lift Ishmael up and hold him tight, the angel revealed a well of water, previously unseen, gushing forth from the dry ground. This turning point transformed Hagar's tragedy into a story of divine providence. Hagar quickly drew water from the well to revive her son. Ishmael, as we shall see in future videos, not only survived, but also grew to embody the resilience and strength of one who had faced death and been reborn through divine intervention.
Say that again. You say that again. This is Ishmael. This is the split. This is Hagar's son.
His legacy, as promised by the divine, would be vast.
So is it Ishmael's promise or is it Jacob's promise? No, Isaac's promise. Is it Ishmael's promise or is it Isaac's promise? This is the two beliefs. This is the split, but from the same bloodline, but just Hagar and Sarah, but from Abraham.
A nation unto itself, born from the trials of the wilderness. As for their relation to Abraham after the exile, there is no biblical evidence that Hagar and Ishmael ever saw Abraham again, at least not while he was alive. Upon Abraham's death, as his son Isaac was preparing to bury him in the cave of Machpelah beside Sarah, a brother showed up to assist. It was Ishmael who came back to help with the funeral.
It get deep, y'all. The shit gets deep. And this is the problem, right? You got leaders of countries, men that are generals in armies, leaders of countries, believing in this prophecy, believing in these books. And you don't think that they don't have disagreements? Look at the chat. Look at the chat. Look at the disagreement in the chat. Look at the perception and perspective that's from these three books. The Torah, the Bible, the Quran, Old Testament, New Testament, Torah, and different people's perspectives on this shit. You don't got to believe it, but the motherfuckers that's running the countries, the world, they believe it. And some of them don't believe it, but they just using it to get their points across and get and acquire what they need to acquire. But still understand where they're coming from and why they act as crazy as they do. It's faith, belief. But if we disagree on shit here, just as in just regular cats just disagreeing, what you think they doing up top? And that shit is for real, for real. For property, for acquirement, for wars, for funding, for this promise, for this prophecy. We just disagreeing just because we believe what we believe. All of those verses are being argued over to this day. All the way to pull up Psalms 82. Bring up Psalms 82. Talk about Psalms 82. How do you interpret that shit? We can go back and forth for disagreeing. No matter what, the shit exists. Sometimes people want to be right so bad that they're so stuck on being right that they won't even take into consideration what the other person is saying. You don't think that it can, I see. Where's the I see where you could think that. I see where you could have come to that conclusion. It's no, you're wrong and this is why. Like we don't know. You ain't wrote that. That's just your interpretation. Then talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Talk about the Book of Enoch. Talk about the stuff that was left out. It's a whole bunch of shit. It's a whole bunch of history that we don't know about. That we only hear about Jerusalem. We hear about Babylon. These motherfuckers is walking in it today. They see the rocks. They see the temples. They see the shit. They are in that shit. We thousands of miles away fighting over what's in the book, places in the book that we ain't never been. They live there. So that's the split that we first started talking about from Abraham, the family of Abraham, Isaac and Ishmael, Isaac from Sarah, Ishmael from Hagar. One promised that he will build nations out of the wild. You tell somebody right now, man, I promise you $200,000 that this is what it is. They don't give a damn. No prophecy. I'm promised $200,000. I'm going to do anything. It's people that would do anything for $50,000. This is a pretty tight little AI thing. Let me see. And then we're going to continue because we got to get to Jacob and Esau from Isaac. Let me go. But how y'all feeling so far? How y'all doing this morning? You guys good? We on the right track? Bear with me. We're going to be here for a long time. We're going to jump into all kind of different things. So we ended with this is what is going on in the Middle East right now, the spirituality, the identity of certain lineages and people or whatnot. And I asked y'all, did the spiritual lineage of Abraham shape the identity of modern nations? Is that what's happened here? Is that what's happening here? We may not believe it, but certainly they do. Now we're going to get into the rival brothers, Esau and Jacob. Esau and Jacob, sons of Isaac, one's blessing promised to him, stolen. One time it was stolen from Esau just because he was hungry, and he verbally promised it. But then Jacob stole it again when his dad was on the deathbed. Super treacherous. One out of Esau, weakness. Esau, it shows weakness. Giving up something great because you're hungry. Jacob showing deceitfulness, sinister, slickness, but both of them are from Isaac. The one who was birthed after his mom did some nasty shit, made somebody leave and flee and made them have a baby and this and that. That's from Isaac. Then he has two sons. One was weak, giving up his birthright. And the other one was sinister and sick, trying to steal the birthright. Once Jacob receives the blessing, he becomes Israel. Jacob becomes Israel. If I was the descendant of Ishmael, I would have an argument to say, y'all fools is tripping. None of that's y'all blessings. All that is our blessings. All that is our blessings. Jacob and Esau, y'all over there fighting like Cain and Abel type BS. But Jacob does end up receiving the blessing through trickery, through Esau's weakness. Esau's people, his descendants, are considered the Edomites. The nation of Edom is Esau, who I believe they say Edom is like the Roman Empire now, was the Roman Empire who destroyed the temple type shit. That's how the ancient rivalries were applied to like certain empires and shit. Many religious interpretations, the rivalry between brothers in Genesis as like a metaphor for long-running blood wars between nations. Blood wars between nations it stems from this. And we like, it's the oil. It's the oil. Yeah, oil is important. They want money. Yeah, money is a big thing. Yes. But do y'all see what I'm saying? How Esau and Jacob can be looked at like, dude, like none of that was promised to you. That was actually Ishmael stuff. That wasn't promised to Isaac. All the way to there, all the way to the beginning, you can have arguments and disagreements all the way to the beginning. Well, just from Isaac and Ishmael and Hagar and Sarah and Abraham, arguments of disagreements perspective, perception, how you read this, how you feel this. Well, this word means this in Hebrew, and they use this word, which really means this. So it was taken out of context because this word couldn't have meant that. This word didn't even come out yet. This word didn't even exist until 600 AD. So how could they have written about that in BC? Or I interpret it this way. All the way back to Isaac and Ishmael. There's disagreements of nations, of bloodlines, of lineage that is taking place today, which led to Ishmael and Hagar fleeing, which led to Isaac having his offspring, Esau and Jacob, which their whole upbringing, their whole shit is crazy too. Up to perspective, interpretation. No, Esau gave it up twice. He didn't know that God had already taken it from him because when he verbalized it to Jacob, it was already taken. So Jacob didn't even have to do what he did at his dad's deathbed because it was already given to him. But Jacob did do that nasty shit. He did do that lying, faking shit for his promise, for his prophecy, for his blessings. If the founding fathers of your religion are operating this way, what's going to stop you from operating that way? If the people you look back to from the beginning are acting this way, and then we say trauma's passed down through the DNA, is lineage, is bloodline, is this. If that's how it originated, what's stopping the people from saying like, shit, he did what he had to do to get his shit done too, but he still was blessed. Even though he acted the way he acted, he was still blessed. So you know what? What's stopping me? That's when we really got to start thinking about certain shit. Like, oh shit. These motherfuckers believe some shit that was dirty. And I know it's dirty, but I still want that promise. I still want that blessing. Yeah, the forefathers, the guy, he did that. Yeah, whatever. But we promised this land. Of a land of milk and honey. Milk and honey? Dude, it's about to go crazy. Let me know when y'all want me to put up the phone number for call-ins. But shout out to y'all, man. This is the AM Wake Up Show. Coffee with RIos, the number one morning show in the whole wide world, Craig. Hey, shout out to the chat. If anybody could design me a better background, I would really much appreciate it for the Wake Up Show. For the Wake Up Show, for the Coffee with RIos, for anything. Just design me a couple. Let me see what's cracking. We're supposed to learn from the stories instead of repeating their behavior. They say that trauma is passed down through the genetics. DNA. Is this my guy? Somebody calling already? I don't know. I don't know if that's somebody for us. They saying it's passed down through the DNA. Nigga, we was committing murder. What? No. Second person. The second person did the most devious shit too. Not the most devious, but the dumbest shit. Eve. Just from one person to the next person, stupidity, ignorance. From the books, from what they say, from what they believe. From the books, the second person sabotaged all of us. The second person fucked up. I tell, what do you expect me to do? The second person fucked up. The second person fucked up and they got to deal with God. Eve fucked up. The second person. God damn, we didn't even get to 3 before we have an idiot. We had an idiot right away. Then that person does all the stupid shit. Easter apple gets deceived by a snake when you talking to God. Dummy. And then her kids. One of them kills each other. I think Cain and Abel is Eve's kids. Let me think. Hold on. Let me see. I might be wrong. Cain and Abel are Eve's kids. Let me see. Yes, first two sons of Adam and Eve. The first two natural births. That's why it's a 50-50. First two natural births was Cain and Abel. One of them niggas killed the other one. From his lying ass, from his deceit, let me stop. Let me not curse. Not curse and not get on it like that. I don't want to call her deceitful. What's that? Naive. Naive. Disloyal. What can we explain that as? Naive, disloyal. Had two babies. A naive, first to second person was naive and disloyal. And then tricked her own man, who she came from his rib. Without his rib, she don't exist. Tricked him into eating the apple. So she was also slick. Trickery. Deceitful. Now we gonna be in misery loves company. We gonna be in this together. I ate from it, you gonna eat from it too. But then she births two cats. One kills the other one because he's jealous of the other one. Cain killed Abel because God told him, I don't like what you brought me. You bringing me shit so you could get recognition. Oh, shit, you guys. I can't even be mad at these niggas in this world that be chasing shit. The first incident of clout chasing. Damn, I didn't even think we were going to go to Cain and Abel. That was not even part of the plan. Cain and Abel was the first incident of clout chasing. Cain was clout chasing. He didn't like that Abel was getting recognition. And he was, I don't like that shit right there. I'm going to drop a dime on them niggas. That was the first incident of clout chasing. He wasn't getting enough attention. He tried to bring God all this stuff for the wrong reasons. Then they had Seth. God was displeased with the fourth person. God was displeased with the fourth person. So what was Cain or Abel older? Who was older? Let me see. Cain was the older brother. Cain killed his little brother. Abel was a keeper of the sheep. Cain worked the tiller of the ground. Second person did the unthinkable, ate from the one tree God said not to eat from. Tricked her husband into eating from that tree, eating that apple. So lying, deceitful, trickery from the second person, from one to the second person. The third person commit murder. The third person commit murder. The third person created commit murder. Eric, it's CAIN. That ratio and percentage is crazy. God was displeased with Cain because his heart was not in the right place, showing a lack of faith, proper attitude, and obedience compared to Abel. Yeah, his mom was a trip. While Abel gave his best with a faithful heart. He gave what he could. He gave what he could with a faithful heart. Cain's offering seemed to be just a casual gift leading to his rejection and to Cain's subsequent murderous jealousy. That's why I say sometimes a $5 from somebody means more than $1,000 from somebody else. That $5 might have been that person's last $5. You might receive $1,000 from somebody that got hundreds of millions of dollars. It don't mean shit to them to give it to you. But for somebody that only has $5 to give you $3 of that shit, that means more. Like, oh, you had to put actual thought into this shit. You had to actually think about, okay, I'm going to sacrifice this and I'm going to go without eating, or I'm going to have to make this. Here's $3. Bless your heart, son. Versus somebody with $1,000. Here's $1,000. Nigga, get out of my face. Go do some shit. He ain't thought twice about it. It's the same thing. That's why I say, man, pay attention to what is being given and where it's coming from. If it's from somebody's heart or if somebody's just throwing shit at you. Yeah, you might be hanging around some rich ass nigga. I know some niggas that hang around NBA stars. Them niggas just be throwing money at them, but really they throwing bags of shit at them. Like, here, nigga, like, you ain't shit here. Go, here's some more nipple. Here's some more milk for you. And I know it. I see the depression in those niggas because they ain't shit without that nigga. They ain't shit without an NBA star. They ain't shit without a superstar. You just riding around getting bags of shit thrown at you. That shit's crazy. But that's the first incident. I'm calling that clout chasing. No wonder we got clout chasers out here. The third dude was a clout chaser. The first woman was who she was. Oh, you need some more nipple, nigga? Come here. Here's some milk, nigga. You need some more? God, dog, you need some more milk? Here. Niggas is satisfied with shit being thrown at them. Man, I'm having a good time in here. I'm having a good time in here. I'm having a good time. I'm in a good place. Thank you guys for being in here. I appreciate you guys. Ghetto Cafe. This is the AM Wake Up Show. Coffee with Rios. Please like the video. Subscribe if you can. Subscribe. You can subscribe. Like the video. Subscribe. If you can, join the membership. I'm going to update the membership shit today. Change the names of the levels, the tiers. Maybe take out the tiers. Only have one level. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. Me and Chot Jupta going to figure it out. But thank you guys. This is the Wake Up Show. It's a little later than usual, but we here. No matter what, we here. This is Society of Freedom Media. Society of Freedom Media, where we talk about the shit we want to talk about. Nobody's telling us what to talk about. We flow how we want to flow. We vibe how we want to vibe. Whatever the energy is of that day, that's what we do. You feel me? Yeah, y'all feel me. Y'all feel me. Y'all understand. Y'all underdig it. Let's go. So, oh no, that's what I want to bring up for you guys. Actually, no. Let me bring that up. We still on Jacob and Esau. This is Isaac's sons. Isaac's sons, Jacob and Esau. Jacob becomes Israel. Let me see. This is kind of long. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up right here. I don't want it to say no misused anything. I want it to just be. Yeah, that one has 419. Jesus.
Have you ever wondered why someone might be hated even before they are born? The story of Esau in the Bible raises a question that makes us reflect deeply. Esau, the older
See, I don't
brother,
like
was
know if I
born
like this
strong
voice.
and full of potential. Yet he had a strange and painful fate. A prophecy was spoken that he would serve his younger brother Jacob, even though he had done nothing yet. But what made Esau become the person he was? Today, we will explore the events that shaped Esau's life and the reasons why God made such a special decision regarding him. From regretful choices to the heartfelt reconciliation with Jacob, Esau's story is not merely a lesson about family, but also a reminder of how we can change and rediscover ourselves. So,
are we feeling this one? I don't know. Am I feeling this one? Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find. I don't know if I like that guy's voice. You know, I'll be real picky with the AI shit, man. Let me see. That's 34 minutes. It's got a bunch of views though. It's got a lot of views, but I don't know if that's the one that I'm actually going after. Try to find one a little shorter. Let me see how this sounds.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Palette of the Past. In today's episode, we are going to describe the studio, give it a like. He also faced delays in starting a family.
Nope, don't like that one. I don't even like the way the guy they chose, how he looked. You guys want me to go back to the original? Oh, shoot. Oh, man. I don't want to pick. Whatever. Let's go.
Hi everyone.
We're just going to do this one.
As his wife. Similar to his parents, he also faced delays in starting a family. However, the delay wasn't entirely his fault. Rather, it seemed that Rebecca, despite being meticulously chosen by Abraham's servant as Isaac's bride, was unable to conceive. While there are parallels between Isaac and Rebecca's situation and that of Abraham and Sarah's, it remains uncertain whether Sarah's inability to conceive was solely due to her advanced age or if there were underlying medical factors. In contrast, Rebecca's barrenness is explicitly mentioned, presenting a seemingly more hopeless circumstance than Sarah's. It's noteworthy that despite being the promised and revered son of Abraham, Isaac wasn't granted all his desires effortlessly. Like his father, he had to exhibit faith in God and confront seemingly insurmountable challenges. In the face of Rebecca's infertility, Isaac doesn't succumb to despair or blame either himself or God. Instead, he turns to God for guidance and
do we like this one or the other one? We just gonna stick with it, man.
Demonstrates unwavering faith, believing that divine intervention is the solution to their predicament. Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. This passage illustrates Isaac's reliance on prayer and trust in God's ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. It portrays a profound example of faith and reliance on divine providence amidst adversity. Indeed, Isaac's prayer for children was answered, but the fulfillment of his prayer was not immediate. According to biblical accounts, Isaac married at the age of 40, yet his sons Esau and Jacob were not born until he reached the age of 60. This signifies that Isaac had to endure a waiting period of 20 years before witnessing the realization.
Waiting on that blessing. 20 years waiting 20 years for that blessing. How many of us get impatient like, man, I'm about to go get this money on my own. I'm about to go do it the way I know how to do it.
Of his prayer for offspring. The passage of time underscores the patience and perseverance Isaac displayed in his faith journey, as well as the eventual fulfillment of God's promise to him and Rebekah. Indeed, unlike the direct encounters between God and Abraham, the biblical narrative does not explicitly mention God speaking directly to Isaac in the context of his prayer for children. Therefore, Isaac lacked the assurance of knowing whether God had heard his plea. Despite this uncertainty, Isaac's unwavering faith in God led him to trust that his prayers were heard, even without direct communication or immediate results. Isaac's steadfastness in his faith allowed him to maintain hope.
It's the music in the background, man. It's the music in the background. Shit.
And perseverance, believing that God's timing and plan would unfold in due course. Isaac's fidelity and faithfulness are indeed notable throughout the 20 years of waiting for his prayer to be answered. Despite the delay in having children and the absence of a direct divine communication, Isaac remains resolute in his trust in God's promises and timing, in contrast to taking matters into his own hands or seeking alternative solutions. Isaac demonstrates unwavering loyalty and commitment to Rebekah. He does not pursue other women in an attempt to produce offspring outside of his marriage, nor does he resort to impatience or doubt regarding God's plan.
My ADHD is tearing me up right now. That music in the, like, I can't get with the voice and the message is there though, the message is there.
During Rebekah's pregnancy with twins, she experienced a tumultuous time as the babies jostled within her womb. This caused her significant concern and discomfort, prompting her to seek guidance from God. Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went
They
to
fighting in the
inquire of
womb.
the Lord.
They fighting in no dang womb.
Rebekah's inquiry demonstrated her deep faith and reliance on God's wisdom and intervention during this challenging time. Indeed, in response to Rebekah's inquiry, the Lord provides her with insight and prophecy regarding the twins within her womb. God reveals to Rebekah that 2 nations and 2 peoples will come from her offspring. Furthermore, God foretells that the older son will serve the younger, indicating a reversal of traditional birthright expectations. Genesis chapter 25.
Catch that. Y'all catch that. Don't worry about the music. But did y'all catch that?
Furthermore, God foretells that the older son will serve the younger, indicating a reversal of traditional birthright expectations. Genesis chapter 25, verse 23, NIV. The Lord said to her, "2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. 1 people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." This direct communication from God to Rebekah highlights the unique manner in which divine guidance was provided. In Rebekah's case, God chose to provide her with direct insight and reassurance regarding the tumultuous pregnancy she was experiencing. This could indeed be interpreted as a demonstration of God's compassion and understanding towards the concerns and anxieties of expectant mothers. The divine revelation to Rebekah served to calm her worries and offer solace during a challenging time. Also, God reveals to Rebekah not only the number and gender of the children she carries, but also the future dynamics of their relationship. The prophecy is indeed clear and profound, providing specific details about the twins she carries, their future roles, and the dynamics of their relationship. God tells her, "2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated." This straightforward statement indicates that Rebekah will give birth to twins, who will each become the progenitors of distinct nations.
So who was born first?
With one another.
That's the crazy shit. The older brother will serve the younger brother. Is it the older one, the first one who comes out the womb? Is it the older one?
Continuing, God says, "One will be stronger than the other," implying a dominance or superiority of one brother over the other. Lastly, God concludes, "And the older will serve the younger," suggesting a reversal of traditional expectations where the older sibling typically inherits leadership or authority. Traditionally, younger siblings were expected to serve the older ones, But in stories like Isaac and Ishmael, things were different. Isaac, the younger one, was chosen to inherit Abraham's blessings and was seen as special. Some may say this was because both Abraham and Sarah were his parents, as God intended, not just because he was younger. Now, with Rebekah's twins, God said something surprising. The younger
What up,
brother
Valerie?
was greater than the older one. This goes against what people expected. But why did God decide this, you might wonder, especially since neither child was born yet?
I don't like this
they
one.
haven't done anything good or bad. God's ways are mysterious, and he sees things differently.
Shout out
from
Valerie.
us. Even before the twins were born, God knew what their futures held. His decision might seem strange, but it's part of his bigger plan, one that we might not fully understand. Some theories suggest that God, knowing everything that would happen in the future, already saw the good and bad actions of Esau. And
Come on, get to it.
Based on this foresight, he decided that Jacob was more worthy and preferable than his brother. This idea did that Jacob.
Hey, see, I'm so distracted by this shit. I dislike it so much that I'm not even paying attention to what's being said. But let's go.
Based on this foresight, he decided that Jacob was more worthy in the future, already saw the good and bad actions of Esau and Jacob. Based on this foresight, he decided that Jacob was more worthy and preferable than his brother. This idea is hinted at in Malachi chapter 1, verse 2 to 3, where God says, "Yet I have loved Jacob, but Esau I have hated. I have turned his hill country into a wasteland and left his inheritance to the desert jackals." Essentially, Esau's destiny seemed determined from the very beginning, and God had already decided who would serve whom. Some people interpret the mention of God hating Esau not as a personal hatred towards him, but rather as God's rejection of the idea that Esau would receive the covenant of Abraham instead of Jacob. As we later see, Esau is not depicted as dishonorable or malicious. In fact, he demonstrates many traits that contrast Jacob, making Jacob seem weak and lazy in comparison.
I gotta be patient.
It's worth noting that despite God's judgment, Isaac still favors Esau as his favorite son. Another theory, though speculative, suggests that God chose Jacob over Esau because Esau supposedly attempted to harm Jacob while they were still in the womb. However, it's essential to recognize that this detail isn't explicitly mentioned in the Bible.
Yes, see, this AI is
whenever Rebekah was
this
close
one is
to an idol of
not
a false god, Esau would kick in her womb. Conversely, when she approached a place dedicated to the Lord, Jacob would kick. Some interpret these kicks as indications of the baby's recognition or excitement.
How they knew what baby was kicking?
For one deity over the other. However, it's important to note that this tale is not explicitly stated in the Bible. Moreover, some view it as unfair and unreliable to consider the movements of unborn babies as any indication of divine preference. Genesis chapter 25, verses 24 to 20.
I don't like how this AI includes perspective type shit. Like including like some thought this or this and this and that. I don't like that shit. Like just give the facts of what's in the shit.
When the time came for Rebekah to give birth, there were twin boys.
Ohio Ties. This is last year's.
The first to come out was red.
AI.
His whole body was like a hairy garment, so they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel, so he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. Indeed, the biblical account describes Esau as coming out first and being red and hairy, possibly indicating his unusual appearance at birth, including his reddish or ruddy complexion and his hairy body. Jacob's birth, on the other hand, is highlighted by his hand grasping onto Esau's heel. This gesture symbolizes their struggle within the womb, and hints at the dynamic relationship between the twins even before their birth. Jacob's action of grasping Esau's heel could be seen as a metaphor for his desire to surpass his brother, or to assert his own significance, even from the moment of birth. Esau's victory in being born first is clear from this exchange, but Jacob's resentment and frustration toward his brother are evident even at this early stage as he grasps Esau's heel, perhaps attempting to hinder his progress. This act foreshadows Jacob's future as a swindler, for by seizing his brother's heel, he could be likened to a heel catcher, a term suggesting deceit or dishonesty.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Later on. As long this shit is only 18 minutes, but golly, it feels like an hour.
This episode hints at the complex relationship dynamics and character traits that will unfold in Jacob's life. The Bible doesn't delve into the childhood of Esau and Jacob in this section. Rather, it fast-forwards to their adulthood. Esau emerges as a skilled hunter and outdoorsman, while Jacob prefers to stay at home and dwell among the tents.
What?
This contrast between the siblings highlights Esau's assertiveness and perhaps extroverted nature.
Dominant. The more dominant.
Juxtaposed with Jacob's calm demeanor, possibly indicating introversion. The narrative also suggests that neither Isaac nor Rebekah loved their sons equally, with Isaac favoring Esau and Rebekah favoring Jacob. In Genesis chapter 25, verse 29 to 31, the passage describes a significant encounter between the two brothers. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick,
this is it.
Let me have some of that."
This is it. This is the first sign of weakness or whatever from Esau. He was hungry and gave over his birthright. And Jacob took it. But this is not the only time Jacob takes it. Took his birthright. Like, all right, I'll feed you such and such. He's all right, whatever. But this is what I was talking about. It took a very long time to get there. I will never, ever watch an AI like this again because.
Red stew, I'm famished. That is why he was also called Edom. Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." The passage describes a moment when Esau, returning hungry from hunting, encounters his brother Jacob, who is cooking stew.
Why is he repeating it twice,
Esau,
AI?
feeling famished, asks Jacob for some of the stew.
See, I don't like this AI.
Seeing an opportunity, responds by asking Esau to sell him his birthright in exchange for the stew. Jacob knew that birthright was a significant inheritance and blessing given to the firstborn son in ancient Jewish tradition. Since he came out of the womb holding his brother's heel, some people might think he always had some idea about its value, even if it was subconscious. The birthright wasn't just about boasting rights. It meant getting twice as much inheritance and becoming the leader of the family. With this understanding, Jacob's ambitions become evident. He desired these privileges for himself.
What does that sound like?
To exploit his brother's hunger to obtain them. His action.
What's that sound like? If these are your predecessors, if these are the people that you look up to, that you saying are the ones that got you your promise, that got you your prophecy, got you your blessing, they'll do anything. You're from the descendant of someone who will do anything for double the birthright, double the money. This person will do anything, even trick his brother out of his bag. He fondled the bag, as Auntie would say. Esau's hungry, and Isaac sees his Jacob sees the opportunity and says, "You know what? Show me your birthright, cuz. I'll give you some. Oh, you starving? Show me your birthright." Esau might have thought he was joking. Like, yeah, whatever. They could give me that stew. Jacob's like, "Nah, I wrote this shit down in death note paperwork. Sign here." But the descendants of this dude come from a bloodline of trickery that would. Abel was murdered by Cain. Man. And this is, so why wouldn't they steal other people's property? So if you stealing blessings back then, right now, this is the tie into today, you guys. If you stealing somebody's blessings back then, that's not even the end of his stealing of blessings. Or taking advantage of somebody. Of a trade, right? Like he did like a trade. There's something like a loan. Like a trade. Leveraged his meager stew to somebody's future benefit that's great. This dude was doing it back then. You think the people, descendants of this that believe this, wouldn't use trickery to try to trick the world into thinking that they are the ones that are blessed? This is my land. This is what I've been promised. This is what I've been promised. They were doing it then. You think those people that follow this like it's the last will? You think they wouldn't lie about some prophecy or whatever? Outside, Jacob knows that God sees all. He's still doing all this, even though he knows it's wrong. God is watching. He's stealing from his brother. In your thought process, you'd be like, damn, God knows you stole that, dude. The blessing ain't gonna go to you if you stole it. Like, but it don't matter to the dirty, the sick. It don't matter. They're like, shit, give me that. I'm about to get this blessing. God sees all. I'm about to see right now. Give me that. You think that the people wouldn't be doing that right now? Like, oh, this is what's promised to us. Well, it wasn't promised to you. Nah, I stole his birthright, cuz. It's me now. Nah, God didn't say that. I stole it. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. The first incident of finders, keepers, losers, weepers. We have the first clout chaser, Cain, the first deceitfulness from Eve, and the first finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Then Jacob. And this is everything to them. Everything. You don't think that they would do whatever it takes? Shit, if they won't.
Reveal a calculated pursuit of his own interests, even at the expense of his brother's well-being. However, Esau points out the absurdity of Jacob's demand. Genesis chapter 25, verse 32 to 33. Look, I am about to die, Esau said. What good is the birthright to me? But Jacob said, swear to me first.
Swear to me first.
An oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. This incident shows that Jacob indeed embodies the notion of a heel catcher. He cunningly exploits his brother's desperate situation, making him an...
That's your new word, Dogface, a heel catcher. That's your new, use that word instead. Heel catcher. Yeah, he's a real heel catcher, cuz. Heel catcher is the word. That's the term.
An offer that Esau feels he can't refuse. Many view Jacob as the villain in this interaction, and it's hard to argue otherwise. He takes advantage of his brother's vulnerability and exploits him for his own gain. However, some argue that Esau is the real villain, because God had already chosen Jacob to carry the birthright when they were in the womb. According to this perspective, Jacob isn't swindling.
Does that not sound like somebody making sense out of desperation? Like trying to make a narrative fit? Well, he was promised in the womb because he was kicking when whenever Sarah went out around something with the Lord, Jacob was kicking, and when they went around something ugly that was not of God, Esau kicked. That don't sound like desperation to y'all? Desperate.
And exploits him for his own gain. However, some argue that Esau is the real villain because God had already chosen Jacob to carry the birthright when they were in the womb. According to this perspective, Jacob isn't swindling Esau out of anything. He already...
This is why I say they're trying to spin the narrative or like make the narrative fit. Okay, they're saying that it was already promised to him. It was already promised to him in his birthright in the womb. But he still attempted to swindle him. The attempt to swindle him was there. He made the attempt. He did it. Just because y'all saying that it was given to him already doesn't mean that he didn't attempt to swindle. That was the attempt right there. He tried to heel catch him. Heel catcher. Goddamn heel catcher. Doesn't take away from the fact of what he attempted. But you know, people will spin a narrative, guys, like to fit they spin a narrative, spin something to fit they whatever it's called.
He owns the birthright, and he's simply coaxing Esau into acknowledging it.
Nah.
Moreover,
that's that perspective shit.
Esau sells the birthright, even though it doesn't rightfully belong to him. In doing so, he engages in dishonesty by trading for something he doesn't possess. Another viewpoint portrays Esau as the more dubious figure in this sibling rivalry. Esau fails to acknowledge the spiritual significance of the birthright. He disregards the covenant and the honor of being the first descendant of Isaac, choosing instead to trade his birthright for food. It could be argued that Esau felt compelled to sell the birthright or face starvation. However, one could also argue that as a skilled hunter, Esau had the ability to hunt and sustain himself. In this instance, he may have chosen not to exert the effort. This suggests that Esau did not value the legacy of Abraham or appreciate the significance of being a descendant of the great prophet. His willingness to easily part with the birthright reflects a lack of understanding or regard for his heritage.
This is all interpretation.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So the agreement was made, and Jacob obtained the birthright while Esau received bread and stew in exchange. As a result of this transaction, Esau came to despise his birthright, either because he never truly valued it from the start.
All right, we out of here on that one. We out of this one. We out of this one. Gone. What's up, man? What's up with you good people? Just learning just to tie in what's going on today, try to understand what the hell is going on today. We ain't here just on some shit, just being positive, thinking about some stuff, going back and forth, what you think, what I think, our perspective, your perspective. What do we think? Yeah, now, of course, I see a lot better ones. And then later on, Esau confronts Jacob. 12 sons of Jacob. Oh, man, let's not get into all that. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into all that. But how y'all doing? How y'all holding up? How y'all feeling? How you doing? How you doing? How your mama doing? This is the AM Wake Up Show, Coffee with RIos. We just going over some stuff. But the believers of the believers, oh, I forgot to put this up. My bad, y'all. Why is this shit not working? Hold on. Shit is tripping. God dog. Whatever. How y'all feeling, man? Where we at so far? You guys happy? You good? We done with the old school fucking AI that almost put me to sleep. I know I almost put y'all to sleep. But so we go down to that. We don't even talk about how the other way that Jacob stole, but whatever. We getting past that story. But it's about the deceit between the lineage, and we talking about DNA and genetics and how trauma's passed down, does deceitfulness get passed down? Does predatory behavior get passed down? Because I think it does. Because Jacob's behavior resembles a lot of people of today. So now we have descendants of Ishmael, descendants of Isaac, descendants of Esau. We went through the whole breakdown of all that stuff. If you wasn't here, you wasn't here. We went through the breakdown, all that. You got United States, you got Israel, and you got Iran. You got the Middle East, you got Israel, and you got the United States of America, which is basically, you might as well call them the same thing. We are the United States of America and Israel is what we are. But for everything to take place, the temple has to be rebuilt. The third temple has to be rebuilt. Who builds the third temple? And where is it? It's in Jerusalem. And right now, what stands where the temple needs to be rebuilt? A holy mosque. A holy mosque. I think it's a mosque. A holy mosque, but it's the third most religious site for Muslims, Islamic religion Muslims in the world. And a dude, so that would have to be destroyed for them to rebuild the temple. And who has to walk through the temple? The Antichrist. The Antichrist has to walk through the temple before the so this is where it all aligns and it all comes together. So let me see how I'm gonna say this shit. So Jews believe in the Messiah, right? Hasn't been born yet, or maybe he has, but the Messiah is going to come. Christians believe that the second coming of Christ is the Messiah. That the Messiah has already been here and he's going to be here again. But in order for and then the Muslim religion believes that the Jesus is going to be sent. He's a prophet. He's going to be sent by Allah. He's going to be here and he's going to walk hand in hand with, I don't know if it's called the Mahdi or something, the Muslim leader or whoever is going to, the Shia believe whoever is going to save them is going to work hand in hand with Jesus, and it's going to be the rapture and all that shit and saving and this and that, and they're going to defeat the Antichrist. But no matter what, the temple has to be built. And that is the rush of the prophecies. First temple was built by Solomon. Second temple destroyed by Rome in 70 AD. Today, the site in Jerusalem is the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock. A dude just recently said they're going to accidentally bomb it and make it look like they tried to knock down a missile and they accidentally hit it. Let me see. No, not the Dome of the Rock, the Al-Aqsa. He said he wasn't going to destroy the Dome of the Rock. He's going to destroy, they were going to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Trying to pull it up. Of course, I can't find this shit. Let me see if I posted it in here. Dang it.
See if I saved it. I did not. But stay with me. Stay with me. I'm trying to find it. I didn't save it. But one of their generals or somebody said that like what they should do is do a false flag and act like they accidentally knocked some shit down and it took out the Al-Aqsa Mosque and they could rebuild the third temple. And this is what they all want. This is the real end goal. The real end goal is that they want to get into Jerusalem and they want to remove that dome. They want to rebuild the third temple. It's one of the most sensitive areas in the world. Right now, Jerusalem remains one of the most sensitive, sought after areas, locations on earth because of this shit. Control of the city controls geopolitics for real. Let's see. I don't know why it's not coming up. I thought or did I save it in here? Let me see. God dog it. Damn it, my bad, you guys. I'm looking for this thing. I can't find it.
The generation that sees the Antichrist stand in the third temple, okay, is the generation that sees the 7-year tribulation and the return of Jesus Christ.
It has to be built so Antichrist could stand in there.
Now, a generation is 80 years. So what that means is we don't start the clock on the 7-year tribulation until the Antichrist stands in the third temple. So one generation might see the third temple be built, but that doesn't mean that that generation is the one that will see the Antichrist. The Antichrist might come 3 generations later. It doesn't really matter. You just need to pay attention when he does come and does what Jesus says he's going to do and what Peter says he's going to do and a number of the New Testament writings say he's going to do. When he comes, then you know that that generation is going to see the 7-year tribulation and the return of Christ. Okay, so this is important to understand. So he said that the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. This is why the first generation church that was persecuted during that first, that first 80 years after Jesus's resurrection, the gospel did not get preached across the whole earth. So the end did not.
Oh, so let's go there. Ohio ties, great point. And we about to talk about that right now because that's a good point. The elites don't even believe in this stuff, but they know we do. So what do the elites believe in Ohio? Let's get into it. About to listen to you. I'm gonna see where you at with it. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna advocate. I'm not gonna say the that guy. I'm not gonna be that advocate. I'm gonna be the good advocate. What do you think the elites believe in then? What do you say that they believe in? If you think they don't believe in this shit that they sacrificing and doing all this shit for, what do they believe in? Actually, let's throw this thing up. Let's throw this up.
Do the elites believe in the third temple? Yay or nay? Y'all answer that. You think the elites don't believe in what is being spewed and talked about and done? You think it's all... Let's see. I'm about to look at the chat. I'm gonna look at the chat. I'm gonna let y'all answer. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. I wonder if I close this right here, does it close it over there? What do you think their beliefs are? They just believe in something else, but they don't believe in this. But what do you think they believe? What do you think? Everybody has beliefs, just not ours. Yeah, everybody has beliefs, but what is their belief? Because we need to have a counter to, they don't even believe this shit, they believe something else. What do they believe? Are they so secretive and so good that we don't even know about it? Are they that good? Kronos, the god of Saturn. Why does it have to be Kronos? Why it can't go before that? We're going to go to, what is that? Kronos, god of Saturn. What's that? Greek mythology? You don't want to go to the Egyptian gods? You don't want to go before that? What do we think? Because what I'm saying is they do believe in what's going on, and this is why they're acting it out and doing. And why else would you try to, I don't want to say the end of the world. Like, I hate to say that shit and be that guy, but why else would you push for the end? Why would you push for destruction? What is it? I'm really interested. Soda H5B says they are Satanists, Baal, Moloch, Asherah, the council of the divine. The God gives order to the other God, says you will die like the rest of the humans. You will die like a human. I've given you control over these lands, and you failed. As he spoke to the gods of the divine council. I used the Greek term, but Eric is right. Where is Eric? Where is Eric? I didn't see what Eric said. They all remixed the Egyptian mythology. You think it's Egyptian? If we're gonna do the backtrack, you think it began in Egypt? You think it began with Egypt? Osiris, Horus, and Isis? We could do it. We could go there. So you believe it started with Osiris, Horus, Osiris, Isis, and Horus is what you think. And I'm not judging. I know about it too, but I'm not judging. You don't think it could be the crops and the seasons and the sun rising with the seasons, and then when the wintertime comes and then spring, all that stuff? You don't think location has nothing to do with anything? You don't think relics don't have to do with anything? They are fulfilling. So what is okay, if it does go to, okay, let's stay with Egypt and Greek and Egypt. Let's stay with Greek and Egypt, Egyptian ideology, and then Greek mythology, many gods. The divine council can be Mount Olympus, where the gods met in Greek mythology. The gods met at Mount Olympus. Set can be the devil in Egypt, or whatever, however you guys want to say it. What was the battle? So if that is the case, okay, we recognize the story of Jesus to like Greek mythology to Egyptian mythology. Many mythologies have the resurrection or whatever ideologies. But what is the end goal? What was the promise? If it was Greek mythology, what was the promise and what was the battle? What was all this shit for? If it was Egyptian, what is all this shit for? Because everybody connects it to the resurrection and Jesus and Mary and this and that. But what else? What else? What is the reason? What is the reason? Let's tie it all in then. How does it tie in? Dogface says, I'm telling you, they all bend the knee to Joma. They all bend the knee to Joma. I don't even know. I'm looking at it. I don't even know what that is. The poll says 73% say there's not that many votes anyway. It's only 11 votes. Not that many people voted. But the poll says out of 11, 6 voted yes. Joe Mama. Joe Mama, fool. What is the reason then? It's only 11 votes. So out of 11, this is the thought process, not very many votes. But what is the reason? If we're going to tie it into Egyptian, we're going to tie it into Greek mythology. What is the reason? What is the end goal? What is the purpose of those religions? That's always my question. And that's my real question. And I'm waiting for an answer. Like from many people, from like, okay, since we going back to here, okay, Dr. Ben Carson, we aliens, we going to get on a ship and the Anunnaki are going to come and use us as batteries. What happened to Atlantis? What happened to Atlantis? What happened to them? Okay, I get the worship, the black cube, hexagrams, etc. all come from worship of Saturn. Yeah, but what's the reason? What's the point? They want to play God. There's, according to them, there's many gods. What God do they want to play? Where's the Atlanteans? The Atlanteans are where? Dogface, Antarctica, under the ocean, somewhere on the map, underneath or somewhere on the map that's not pointed out on flat Earth. See, like that doesn't even work. Cali Bags, that don't work because they believe in God. They just want to be him. They don't believe if we, according to those, there's many. Which one? Who they want to be? They want to be Zeus. So they want to play Zeus. They want to play Osiris. They want to play Apollo. In the ocean. In the ocean. Atlanteans are still in the ocean. Surviving? Like Aquaman Atlanteans? Best in DB. Best in DB. They want riches on this earth. They want riches on this earth. Greed is their God. Greed is the God. They are being promised by some other energy. You do this, this is what you get. You help bring on this shit, this is what you're promised. And they're not talking to this or that. What other reason would you bring on the end of the world if you're not being promised something here? Oh, you know what? I ain't worried about the afterlife. People ain't worried about the afterlife. They like, what are you going to do for me here? If you bring this along, we always said, how much money is enough money? How much money is enough for Elon? If they are they want to be God so bad, why is money so important? If all that shit was so real, all that shit was so important, why are they bending the knee to money and gathering all this shit on earth? You can't take it with you nowhere. Where you going with that shit? Where you going with all the riches of the world? Nigga, Elon Musk, I think, has triple our GDP. Elon Musk almost a trillionaire. Silent war. They working for, and this is the thing. Like, I think they keep us all distracted. And this is just my idea. This is my opinion. I don't know shit. I don't know a goddamn thing. They keep us distracted in finger pointing, or this was done here, this was done here. Oh, this has validity to it. This does not. Really, what does? The Atlanteans been here for 3,000 years. We just can't find them. The Anunnaki coming back. That's them in the UFOs. I don't know. It could be. It could very well be. They value what money brings, man. What's the point of contracts? What's the point of a contract? What's the point of labor? It's all currency. Labor is currency. Energy is currency. In Atlanta, duh. In Atlanta, duh. Wait, hold on. No, I'm asking for answers. You guys teaching me shit too. Like, I'm literally just freestyling, asking questions. Because sometimes you be having thoughts in your head, but they don't really go that far because you're not having a conversation or you're not talking about it. So nobody's like really like triggering thought or to question anything. I really wanted to hear what y'all think. Like, I'm interested. Yeah, them stories will lead you down a hole of insanity. They are of Satan. It's obvious. Dogface, them portals, though. I mean, we know millions of people, like through us, through 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees of separation. We don't know nobody that got access to these portals. Like, we don't know nobody. Out of all the access and the people we know, we don't have no access to these portals. We ain't got no access to Stargate shit. We supposed to be the chosen. Where is it? Give me portal. Give me portal. Where is the portal? Where is it? I want to see it. Out of all the shit that we know, all the people we see, all the access, all the cameras, all the shit. These motherfuckers are still fighting the same fight with all that shit we talk about, all the access. And look, the people that are fighting for that shit, the ones that are in the Middle East, they got a ton of money. They got access to a ton of shit too. You don't think nobody would be blowing the spot up? It's all clever and it's all interesting. But at this point, this shit should be revealed. Our Oshun, our Ogun, Aruba, the Yoruba tribe, somebody should be revealing some shit through ancestry, through what do you say when you fall asleep and you go travel different places? None of that shit. We talk about it all the time, but goddamn, we know millions of people through connections. Don't nobody got no shit. You might as well be talking about the Bible because ain't nobody showing shit. No, I'm with you. I'm with you, DB. Like I'm just bringing it up. I'm just bringing up the point because people will go to the place of like, this is what it has to be. This is what it's got to be because nothing else is making sense. So I'm going to jump to this. I'm going to jump to this idea of what I can't put my fingers on it. I can't actually touch it. I can't actually see it. But you believing in Atlantis, you believing in Greek mythology, you believe in Egyptian mythology, or this story was told before, that's all faith. You think Atlantis is under the ocean? That's faith. You believe in something you ain't seen also. Y'all just as crazy. Thinking what? You believe in something you ain't seen also. Stop laughing at them. Stop calling them crazy. Because guess what? You believe in something you ain't seen either. The Anunnaki. Nigga, when did you meet the Anunnaki? Nigga ain't never even met a Cherokee Indian. What you know about Anunnakis? Nigga, if you didn't see the Atlantis, you wouldn't be in this chat right now, nigga. Your already has to be over there trying to fuck a mermaid. If you do Atlantis, you be on. Your already has to be over there trying to find you a mermaid. It's all the same, man. They is putting faith in shit that they ain't never seen, they ain't never touched. Yeah, I know for sure Dogface would be, if he seen Atlantis, he knew where Atlantis was and what he seen, he would have him a mermaid. Or he would die trying to get him a mermaid. I'm not saying I'm right. Don't get frustrated. I'm not even saying I'm right. I'm just putting out arguments. I'm just putting out the opposite. Don't get offended. Don't give up. It's because all of our arguments is weak. All of our arguments. My argument is weak. Your argument is weak. Well, nigga, we don't know shit. We don't know nothing. But we'll talk about some shit, sure enough. But what I am talking about is what I'm tying into what these motherfuckers is doing right now. The shit is matching up like A to Z. 1 + 1 = 2 type bullshit. Trying to find some Maryams, huh? Dogface will be out there right now, man. We all want to win the argument or win the conversation, but like really, like the best conversation is bringing up our points and trying to say how much we think about them or what how to disprove it, or do you think this? Do you think that? Well, what about this? I'm just questioning everything that's being said because we got to start asking questions. $730 JB, boom. Deviations from the truth. You want to look at all the deviations in Christianity. Think about the fragmented shit within Christianity. Oh, you can't go to heaven if you don't speak in tongues. If you ain't never spoken tongues, the Holy Spirit's never been in you, can't get to heaven. Catholicism, Baptist, Lutheran, this, that. Look at how fragmented the religions are within the religion. Even Islam is fragmented. Even the Sunni and the Shia believe differently in certain things. And who their Messiah, I forget what they call their Messiah. Every religion. Everybody thinks they right, but that's what I'm saying. You got to speak in tongues to go to heaven. Wait, what? So wait, not only do I gotta accept this as my savior and that through him, but I also have to speak in the Holy Spirit. Also gotta do that. Yeah. And then you got the Mormons. You got this, you got this. Yeah, you got to do a backflip, flip, turn around. So you could be just the most crookedest person and then just say, I accept you. It has to be in your heart. All questions. Everything is questionable. But what I'm trying to say is everybody has faith in whatever they choose to believe in. Everybody has faith in whatever they choose to believe in. I'm just trying to point out like the no difference. Look, tongues is demonic. Some people believe talking in tongues is demonic. Some people say, hey, you're not supposed to scare away the people coming to church. You talk in tongues, you're going to scare the people away. Everybody does opposite of what they believe and this and that, and then take it to interpretation, perspective. Because guess what? At the end of the day, we all are weak and imperfect. We all are imperfect. We all are weak. We all going to fuck up. Every single one of us. Every single one of us is going to screw up some way or another. We're going to mess up. And that's it. Some shit just be common sense, says Callie. Some people don't got common sense. So what about them? Some people is slow. Some people is literally born slow. And ain't got a sense of common in their pocket. What about them? Brother Jumbie always covered. There you go, a special shout out, man.
The African, the Asian, and the Arab are and will always be targeted because of their connections to all things of this world pre-flood that the Neanderthal has no connection to. War is their god, blood is their oil.
And then there's that. Is oil their god blood? $20 for Brother Jumbie. Thank you for the super chat. I've been in here for... How long have I been here, man? Jesus. Been in here for 2.5 hours, man. Jumbie's finally up in here, man. Got me 3 super chats. Averaging almost a super chat an hour. It's getting good. It's getting better. Getting better. Thank you. Thank you very much. Paying me for my time, sitting here, not working, not going to get a job, doing this. Thank you for appreciating the time that I spend here. Thank you. Shout out to the ladies, Cristiano Carranzo. Shout out to the ladies on Apollo. Shout out to Cristiano, man. Shout out Love My Life. No Excuses, Rios. I didn't wake up on time. Brother Jumbie, shout out $20, $4.99, $2. The native, the African, the Asian, and the Arab are and will always be targeted because of their connections to all things of the world pre-flood that the Neanderthals has no connection to. War is their god, blood is their oil. Damn, maybe that's why they connect to Aries so much. Maybe that's why they have such a strong connection to the god of war. Not only Catholics do that, your mom said, Christians do that too. I forget what it's called. Christians do it too. It's called, dang it. Oh man, I can't think of the word, but Christians do that also. They flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. Wash me in Jesus' blood. Keep me safe away from the evils in this world. Sacrament? No. It's not called that. It's like once a month. I forget what it's called. Hold on. I'm gonna find it real quick. Communion. Communion. It's called communion. Yeah, they eat the little cracker and you drink wine. Not wine. It's like a little grape. It's representative of Jesus' flesh and his blood. There's people out there, they still practicing sacrifice and all that shit. We in a crazy time, man. But just to give a little bit more insight on what is happening, because now we're gonna segment into. We already talked about they want to build the temple. They want to build a third temple. They want Antichrist to stand in the temple because that's what they think their Messiah is gonna come. That's when Christians think that second coming of Christ is gonna come and defeat the Antichrist. That's also what the Muslims believe, that Jesus, the prophet, is going to come back. They're going to defeat the Antichrist. It's something like grape juice or something, man. I might be getting it wrong. My bad.
Grew up religious, but through my journey I became one with my God with no nonsense scriptures or false covenant. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Grew up religious, but thank you for the super chat, TDC. We love us. Grew up religious, but through my journey I became one with my God with no man's scripture or false covenant. Can I get an amen? Amen to you, man. Amen to advocating for what you believe in and what you want to do. Good for you. Good for you. For real, not saying that sarcastically. That's dope for you, man. So let's get into the Sunni and the Shia. The Sunni and the Shia. Next time I do this, I'm gonna have videos already ready so I don't pull up no BS videos that I don't like and I can't listen to. Iran, Shia. Other Muslim countries in the world, Sunni. Saudi Arabia, Sunni. Karbala. Get familiar with the Battle of Karbala. That's where the Sunni and the Shia had their divide spiritually, not just politically. Not just politically. After the death of Muhammad, Muslims disagreed over leadership. Sunni view leadership chosen by community. So the community chooses. Shia viewed the leadership belongs to Ali ibn Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib. That reminds me of the 13th warrior when he was trying to say his name to the Vikings. It was like, Ibn, your name is Ibn. But they believed that it would be handed to the family. It should pass down to the family. And that's where the split happened politically between the Sunni and the Shia. One thinks that it should be handed down through blood, through family. The other side believed that it should be handed down through community. Shia viewed leadership as that. The conflict became permanent after the Battle of Karbala. Because even after the third, I don't know what the name I'm supposed to call it, but they chose leaders. The third leader, after three leaders, then they finally got, the Shia finally got the leader they wanted, which was the Ali ibn Abi Talib. Got the title of leadership of whatever, control. But the one that they wanted finally got it. It was like, okay, now we recognize it from here on. The conflict came permanent after the Battle of Karbala, where martyrdom took place, where the Shia said, oh, you know what? This is what it's about. This is the belief. He sacrificed for all of us. Hussein ibn Ali was killed by the Umayyad army. And so I'm going to bring up information. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to Google it so you guys can read it so it doesn't sound as ignorant as I'm saying it. That is where it's tied in right now. That's the tie-in right now. Iran is those guys. You don't want to mess with them. You don't want to do that shit that you're doing right now because they believe in what they are doing, and they are not running from conflict because they believe what they're doing is just. In Shia Islam, martyrdom represents the opposite of tyranny. The opposite of tyranny. Iran's the world's largest concentration of Shia Muslims in the world. Often invoke Karbala, but let's get to the Battle of Karbala. Oh, Shia Sunni split. Let y'all read because I don't feel like doing the AI. That shit was getting on my nerves. The Sunni Shia split originated in 632 CE following Prophet Muhammad's death. Centering on a succession dispute, Sunnis believe leaders should be elected supporting Abu Bakr, while Shias believe leadership belonged to Muhammad's family supporting Ali. Today, it is primary religious and geopolitical divide influencing conflicts in the Middle East. That's what a lot of this shit is about. Saudi Arabia and all that shit, all of it, they are beefing over old school shit. Key aspects. Historical origin. The shit began immediately after the Prophet Muhammad's death, triggered by a dispute over who should lead the Muslim community, the caliphate. The caliphate. But that was political. It's still on a political level at this point. It's like, nah, we don't agree with it, but whatever. We don't agree with it, but whatever. Sunni's position, about 85 to 90% of Muslims believe that the first four caliphs, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, were rightful successors chosen by consensus. Shia positions, 10 to 15% of Muslims believe that, let me move this out the way, believe that leadership was designated by the Prophet to remain within his family, starting with his cousin and son-in-law, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Major conflicts. The split often fuels modern geopolitical struggles, notably between Sunni-led Saudi Arabia and Shia-led Iran. That's driven violence in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and Bahrain. Now, let's get into. Let me see if a video will pop up. Let's see if a video will pop up real quick. I just want to see how many. And then that didn't even talk about the Battle of Karbala, where it went spiritually, where the divide between Sunni and Shia really took a different take. Someone was ambushed unfairly, family off, family unalive, children unalive, and some crazy stuff. Yeah, this shit got hella views. Basically, the Battle of Karbala was basically, what's the dude's name in Black Panther? The Killmonger. I'd rather die free than live a life on my knees. Like, I'd rather die fighting for freedom than living as a slave. That's pretty much go die on your sword. Go out there and fight for it. But we'll see how good this is.
Today, there are more than 1.5 billion Muslims living across the globe, with Muslim-majority countries spreading from Morocco to Indonesia. But just like virtually all other religions, Islam is not united and has branches interpreting the Quran and matters related to political events in the history of Islam in a different way. The two main
It is political. Yes, it's political because of what the Shia believe and what the Sunni believe. That it's a bloodbath, man. Like, it's a blood war. Like, they will never forgive for what you did at the Great Battle of Karbala. I don't like this guy's voice already. I don't like Kabbalah. Oh, they got a movie on that. Oh, this shit looks tight. This is a shorter version. We got a shorter version. Oh,
just 48 years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad,
I like that one already. Let me see this one.
Hussein is a man whose story has transcended generations and borders for over 1300 years. Hussein's selfless pursuit for moral justice in the face of brutal oppression has inspired hope for millions. The Battle of Karbala, where Hussein and his 72 loyal companions bravely stood against an army of thousands, forever.
An army of thousands. They be wanting to talk about 300 and Greece and what was 300? Stand up against Persia. But what was? It was like Greece. It was Greece or some shit. Sparta, whatever. But the battle of 72 versus 1,000 of Hussein battling and martyrdom, for real martyrdom. And it ties into what they just did to their supreme leader. And look who became, well, now we're going to talk about that.
Changed the course of history. Hussein was born in 626 AD in the city of Medina to the noble family of the Prophet Muhammad. He was raised by a family renowned for their honesty, compassion, and justice.
He was revered and celebrated by people from different walks of life. Every lover of truth and every lover of justice loved Hussein alayhi salam. And this, no doubt, began way back while they were in the holy city of Medina.
The values that he adopted as a child were the values that he learned as he grew up. And he grew up in the holiest of houses.
Look at the Catholic dude. This story, I don't know if some of you may not have heard this, but if you haven't, it's no reason why we should not have, why we don't know about this. But the reason why we don't know about it is because they want you to hate Muslims. Let's just say this shit, man. They want you to hate Muslims. So they don't tell the stories and the real shit. They just tell you about the transgressions of, they'll try to sell you on the transgressions of Muhammad and then discredit the Quran and isn't that. But they don't tell you about, let me just shut up. Hold on, my bad.
He grew up with his grandfather, the Prophet.
As a young child, Hussein witnessed his grandfather's struggle to establish a morally just and compassionate society.
They embraced a very sincere life, a very humble life. They prioritized charity, giving, and working to improve the societies they were in.
Arabian society was plagued by violence and corruption. Muhammad's rise and the advent of Islam eradicated much of this injustice, and the people had widely adopted a moral way of living. In 632 AD, the Prophet Muhammad passed away, devastating a young Hussein. What followed after would impact Hussein in ways he could not yet comprehend. Shortly after the Prophet's death, the leadership of the newly formed nation fell into dispute. Divisions amongst the people emerged, and a violent power struggle fractured the nation for over 30 years, which led to a lengthy civil war between Hussein's father, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Muawiyah.
Muawiyah, who was originally from a tribe or clan which had in the early years opposed the Prophet's message and Islam, took power. Started off in his power base in Syria, in Damascus.
Ali ibn Abi Talib was assassinated, and Muawiyah assumed full control. Choosing to avoid further conflict, Hussein's elder brother, Hassan, made a treaty with Muawiyah, which would prevent Muawiyah from passing on rule to his son, amongst other things.
These clauses of the truce were basically violated And the ultimate expression of that violation was the actual assassination of Hassan himself around 10 years after that.
Having violated the treaty, Muawiyah allowed his son Yazid to take over the power. Yazid was widely regarded as a tyrannical and cruel narcissist who wanted to rule with an iron fist. Yazid sought the allegiance of Hussein to cement his claim to power and gain credibility.
The trickery.
One of the needs, one can say, of an oppressive regime is the need for legitimacy. And the important sources of that legitimacy has to come from prominent members of the society who are respected for their high morals to support them.
Having witnessed years of injustice and the steady moral decay of his society, Hussein knew he had to draw a line with Yazid to prevent the total collapse of the nation to the hands of a despotic tyrant. Hussein refused to pledge allegiance to Yazid.
In one sense, he was very divisive, but usually when people fight for justice, they are divisive. Usually it divides the community, those in favor of what is right and those who are not. And so in his very divisiveness, he was really making a stand that separated the good from the bad, the just from the unjust.
Fundamentally, Hussein is not interested in the fight. He's
Hussein
not
Abi Ibn.
in taking to battle, but rather he's interested in making people aware of what's actually going on in the world, how things have changed since the demise of the Prophet.
Not being able to get an endorsement from Hussein, Yazid threatened to...
If I'm not saying it correctly, Hussein Abi Ibn Abi, Hussein Ibn Abi, or Abi Ibn, but is the descendant of the first person that they wanted it to be handed down to for the Shia. Ibn Ali Abi, what you man, you gonna have me, I got a speech impediment. But the first dude that they recognized as Shia, the first dude that they recognized was after 3 caliphates. They only, the Sunni recognized the first 3 because they used community to vote that in. The Shia believed it should have been passed down to bloodline. It didn't get passed down to bloodline until the 4th caliphate after Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. So this is the descendant of the 4th that the Shia believe should have been the first anyway. He should have been the first hand down.
Assassinate Hussein. Wanting to avoid violence, Hussein left his home and travelled to the city of Mecca. Here, Hussein sought to rally the people and delivered a passionate sermon rebuking the community leaders who had failed to stand against Yazid, saying, "You have taken lightly your duties as leaders. You have neglected the rights of the oppressed and the lowly, but have assiduously pursued what you regard as your personal rights."
I love the way they write. Ooh, they write cold.
Justice was quite a simple issue. It was that we must be willing to take a stand and even die for what is right, that there can be no compromise. And I think it's that refusal to compromise, and he was made a number of offers by the people in power to compromise, to turn back, to try a different route. This refusal to compromise, even in the face of great personal danger, that...
The refusal to compromise, even the great face of danger. Supreme leader did not run away from the missiles and the rockets. He didn't do that. What he did, we will speak about. Legendary.
For me, is the key to the morality, the ethics of his justice.
Most leaders, they will remain in their comfort zones and send their people to go and do the work. They will call for justice, but they will not be on the ground or in the field to promote justice. Imam al-Hussein did not do that. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam led from front.
Hussein had received hundreds of letters from the residents in the city of Kufa, present-day Iraq, pledging their support in the struggle against Yazid. As the threat of violence increased, Hussein departed from Mecca, along with his family and loyal companions, and began the long journey towards Kufa. When Yazid became aware of Hussein's intention, he dispatched a brutal governor to quash the dissent. But Hussein persisted with his movement eastward. As Hussein got closer to Kufa, he was intercepted by a battalion of Yazid's army, led by a commander called Hur. Hussein, his family and companions were prevented from going any further and were forced to stop in a dry desert land known as Karbala.
Karbala. I'm saying Karbala.
Forces came, his horses.
To stop in a dry desert land known as Karbala.
Hur and his entourage of forces came, his horses and his soldiers were thirsty. Hussein offered them water. He did not say, these people are here to monitor me and to make life difficult for me and to block my way. He gave
What? So vicious.
them water.
Hussein's selfless act of kindness was to be met in turn with a cruel response by Yazid's army, who proceeded to surround Hussein's camp and cut off the water supply. Hussein, his family, and small army of around 72 were left thirsty for 3 days in the blistering heat.
Hussein said something which rings very true for the human condition. He said, human beings are slaves to the world. As long as our situation is fine, we have food, we have water, we have money, we have the basics, people will profess their beliefs, they will profess their religion on their tongues. But when people are tested, when people are tried, very few people remain who are sincere and devoted.
Ooh-wee.
On the eve of Ashura, Abu Abdullah gathered all his companions and he asked for the candle to be switched off. So it was put off. And he said to his companions, I am the target, you are not the target. Why don't you go? And no blame on you.
Ooh-wee.
Each and every one of them stood up and pledged their allegiance to Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam.
As the sun dawned on what is known as the day of Ashura,
Don't ever talk about this. But they talk about washing of the feet and praying for your enemy, turning the other cheek. But how often does it play out in real life?
one after the other, Hussein's closest family members were slain in battle as they fought heroically.
Fought heroically, sacrificed their life. It's a bigger picture. What they're doing for, what they're dying for is bigger than what's here. It's bigger than this world. This is the tie-in. What is America fighting for right now? What are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? What are we fighting for right now? What are our sons and our daughters over there fighting for? Is it some shit like this? They got reasoning. They got belief. They got all kinds of stuff. The whole basis. We're not even done yet.
With each member of his family killed in front of him, including his beloved sons, nephews, and brother, Hussein would rush valiantly into the battlefield to aid them in their last moments. None was spared, not even Hussein's 6-month-old baby, Ali Asghar.
Imam Hussein carried this young boy, placed him on his chest, and he walked to the battlefield. He looked at the camp of the enemies.
Do you understand the gravity of this situation? And I told y'all the other day, I said, they are in the streets out there saying, my family is here. My family is with me. This is my home. We are ready to die for what we believe in. This is what we're fighting for. We are not going anywhere. If you guys destroy this, we will live in destroyed land. We're not seeking anything. You think the Zionists, the Jews in Israel, you think that they are going to live in a bomb city? No, they're going to flee. They're going to be in New York. They're going to be over here. They're going to go to different places. They're going to migrate wherever. They say this is ours. And we're willing to do it all for what's ours and what we believe in.
He called
That's
out,
a hell of a fight.
Am I the target or these infants? Why don't you give him water?
And this created a consternation in the opposing army. And when the leader, Omar ibn Saad, saw that, he called out for them to silence Hussein's argument, meaning to kill that child. And so one very evil soldier whose name was Hormala, took a 3-pointed arrow and fired at the child and ripped the child's neck apart in the arms of the father.
Do you hear me?
He was now completely...
I gave you water. I asked God to forgive you for your atrocities. You shoot my son in my arms with a 3-headed arrow that damn near decapitates my 6-month-old son. Who's your 72? Where's your 72 that's standing up with you? To the very end.
Alone, everyone else was gone except for the woman in the tents, and they were being threatened. And I think that in the end, it was his utter exhaustion from fighting almost single-handedly that helped to hasten his end, and the fact that he was now surrounded by a superior number.
Up until the last breath he had, in the midst of all of this, he never lost hope.
Some of the reports from the soldiers fighting against Hussein, when they saw him pass by in front of them on his horse fighting them, they said they never saw a person who had lost so much, his dear ones killed in front of him, facing insurmountable odds, covered with blood, but at the same time being so peaceful and so glorious.
Carrying his lifeless infant alone, Hussein returned to his camp to bid a final farewell to the women and children of his family. Unbroken and unafraid, Hussein charged valiantly for the final time towards the enemy and fought majestically till eventually he fell from his horse.
They started attacking him left and right. Arrows on his shoulders, arrows on his forehead, arrows on his back, until Abu Abdullah fell down. He was kicked left and right. And eventually...
Vic, you must not have been paying attention the whole time. It's all good, though. I get it. It's been a long live. We get it. It started there and went somewhere else.
Shimmer sat on his chest.
Covered in bloody wounds, thirsty from the dry desert heat, and with no one left to help him, Hussein was mercilessly beheaded.
After the killing of Hussein, those who'd been killed were beheaded. The tents of the women were burnt. The women were taken as prisoners.
The texts tell us
we talked about it earlier.
The children were transported in a very brutal manner to the various leaders of the time, first of all to Kufa and then to Damascus, where they were humiliated and interrogated. But of course it is the lady Zainab who cannot be separated from her brother.
Zainab
keeps all of this alive and begins to retell the tale. And so it's a terrible time, and it's the beginning of something absolutely wonderful.
Following the tragic killing of Hussein, his sister Zainab carried the flag of Hussein's mission and became the moral support for the women and children who had been taken captive. Famously,
shout out Gus,
when asked how she perceived what had transpired, she replied eloquently, "I saw nothing but beauty."
Ooh!
She makes these two famous protests against the citizens of Kufa and then
Zainab
Yazid. And she is famous that not only does she denounce his leadership and indict him as a person, but she also in those moments begins the story of Karbala and ensures at that moment that the story will never be forgotten.
Boom.
The lessons of Karbala will never be forgotten.
Zainab's fiery speech in the courtyards of Yazid sent shockwaves across the nation, as word spread of how Hussein and his small army were martyred in Karbala. Realizing his grave miscalculation, Yazid freed Hussein's family. Zainab, alongside Hussein's last remaining son, Ali Zain al-Abidin, began to tell people of what happened in Karbala. This triggered a series of uprisings, which eventually led to Yazid's rule being dismantled.
For a number of people, the commemoration of Hussein is also about this quest for justice and goodness in the world. And so the recounting of the story of what happened is then connected with accounts of oppression, of tragedy, and of brutality in the world that we have, and a hope and desire for something better.
The story of Hussein has been remembered through generations every year as a source of empowerment in the fight for moral justice. How Hussein and his army of 70 source of empowerment in the fight for moral justice.
Source of empowerment in the fight for moral justice. Remember that, you guys. Let's go back to that. Source of empowerment, the story every year celebrated, the Battle of Kabbalah, I think Ashura, the source of empowerment in the fight for moral justice. Sacrificing. Zainab said, "I saw nothing but beauty," told the story of her brother and of his family and the people and her nephew. Like, what? I saw nothing but beauty. I saw a man. And this is Shia.
How Hussein and his army of 72 were victorious against a tyrannical enemy through sacrificing their lives.
Tyrannical enemy.
1300 years later, through sacrifice.
Everybody passed. Most of them died. Most of them died. Of 72 were victorious against tyrannical enemy through sacrificing. You're not going to bomb them away. Your bombs don't win the war. You bombing them doesn't win the war. They lost their many of friends, loved ones. Atrocious shit happened to them. But the 72 were victorious against a tyranny. Tyrannical enemy through sacrificing. Ooh-wee.
Their lives. 1300 years later, millions of people from all backgrounds flocked to pay tribute to Hussein at his shrine in Iraq.
Every time we stand up to fight and we are prepared to sacrifice everything for truth, we are like,
we are prepared to sacrifice everything for truth. Not for money, this and that. We're ready to sacrifice everything for truth. Dude, what? They didn't tell y'all this, huh?
Hussein,
The reason why people can aspire to be like Hussein is because he transcends religious borders and political borders. Justice is a human thing. All human beings, even non-religious human beings, are bound by justice.
The revolution continues. We have to create now a Husseini society, which is a society of justice and a society of brave people.
Not a society of Epstein. Look at what we represent. Look at what we represent. Look at what our people represent that are fighting and that's causing all this shit in the world. Fuck. Think about it. Look at what we represent. Look at what we're fighting for. What are we fighting for? Y'all can put American flags in there. Yeah, go America. Yeah. But what are we fighting for? Half of our kids have no idea what the fuck they doing. Oh, you want to rededicate the nation to Christianity again? Rededicated one nation under God? That shit's crazy.
Who are not afraid of fighting for truth.
Future real estate. That's what they over there for. The future real estate that they will never own. Our babies is over there fighting for future real estate. Ha ha ha, hee hee ha ha. For shit they will never have. We will continue to be poor. We will continue to be at the disposal of the rich. We will still continue to be at the disposal of the haves while we be the have-nots. Shit's crazy. Just kind of crazy. Yeah, we about to head south. We about to head south for sure. Already en route. Already en route. And so we go into right now what took place. Iran been watching. They've been watching Iraq. They've been watching Afghanistan. They've been watching tactics. They've been preparing. They've been building. They've been doing what they're doing. But on top of that, what they sacrificing for, what they living for being moral, for just, every country, every place got some shit wrong with them. For sure. Everybody ain't perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. Nobody. But if you tie it into today's time and what's going on right now, and you see the supreme leader being unalived, and they say 40 of his guys that were next up, or his cabinet, 40 of them were unalived. There's nobody left to take his place. But guess what? His son just took his place. His son just took over. His son just took his place. He did not run and evade. He didn't go somewhere. He didn't go hide, go in a bunker, or go do this. He didn't go get on an airplane that stays in the air during this and during that. He said, in the name, in the nation of Shia, in memory of the great Karbala and what was sacrificed for just reasons, a moral cause. Zainab, I saw nothing but beauty. They willing to lose it all. If you don't know that, they willing to lose it all. And I think we stepped into some shit. Stepped into some shit that we don't want to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of that shit. Everybody has their things. Everybody has their shit. I'm not saying yay or nay, but I know the shit we support. I know the dude that's doing what he's doing ain't got shit to do with me. but I support it because I pay for it. Burnt out. If America could knock your towers down again, also, they would. If it just meant to go into Iraq, they'd do it to themselves. If America had to sacrifice New York to take over the world, they had sacrificed your ass and New York. We done sacrificed our own for way less anyway. We done killed our kids over red dye and fucking potato chips. Talking about some towers. We done killed millions. These American corporations that do poisoning and putting lead and this and that, we'd do it for less. We don't need to knock down towers. They killing babies right now. And I don't blame them. Burnt out. Yeah, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you do the same thing? You point fingers at them like they wrong. Shit. Yeah, shit, I would too. I ain't never been to Marathon Burger. I ain't never been to Marathon Burger. You ever damn about no Marathon Burger? So you think burnt out that talking about our atrocities, that is this country, it hurt your feelings? It's okay to have your feelings hurt. The truth hurts. The truth is ugly. We wrong. We dirty. Dirty ass dogs. America's dirty ass fucking dogs. Your country serves a state of pedophiles. When a motherfucker is a pedophile, they get out of jail, guess where they go? They go to Israel. And guess what we do? We get them niggas bombs. We get them bombs. Yeah, so you saying it like it matters that they will bomb over here. It don't matter. That's like I said, yeah, I'll do the same. I ain't worried about no fucking Marathon Burger. It's just that you got triggered because we look stupid. I get it. Oh, we over there for oil. We over there for this. We over there for power, to look this, to look that. No, we over there doing somebody else's bidding. That's it. Doing somebody else's bidding. That's all we doing. How have I been in the U.S. military for over 20 years and never saw a pedophile until I went to the Middle East? Because you was fighting alongside of them. They just didn't tell your ass. They just didn't tell you. Your generals, your sergeants, your lieutenants, a lot of them was fucking boys too. Little boys, little girls. Yeah, you was fighting for them. You was getting paid by them. Taking organs, eating flesh, doing all kind of shit. Going into countries and shit. We do some ugly shit. Put the pedophile red dot in your city right now. Do the predators watch in your neighborhood right now. You'll see some PDFs. Shit, Crips is that too. Crips ain't ain't nobody outside of being judged. You think Crips ain't that also? Nigga, I'm not biased. I'm gonna give the truth. I'm gonna get it real. Nigga, everybody. It ain't no color line. Ain't no. That is a nature. It is some sick shit. You can't make me hoorah this shit. Yeah. 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 And that's just a small piece of the iceberg. Small piece of iceberg. Wicked is wicked. But that shit, that right there just is just a mirror. It's just holding up a mirror. It's just a mirror hold up. Oh, fuck. God damn it. But what it is how they sell you ugliness of everybody else. They'll sell you the ugliness of everybody else. Everybody else. They'll sell you the ugliness of the savages, of these people, are this and that. The brutality. They're this. They do this. They do that. When are we going to talk about the shit we do? We will point out all the ugly, all the bad, all the shit, all the disgusting. But guess what? There's still amazing shit everywhere also. Two sides to the coin. Who ain't never heard about who cannot use the story of the Great Battle of Karbala and not use that as inspirational and motivational? It's a great story. Like, you don't have to even be Muslim. You don't have to be religious. That's what the dude even said it in the documentary. You don't even gotta be this religious. It's just standing up for the just, standing up for the moral cause. But motherfuckers did not squeak a noise about that shit. Niggas didn't even put one bit of energy into, hey, do you guys know about Hussein? They just want to tell you about Saddam Hussein and Barack Hussein Obama. Like, they don't want to tell you about the inspirational story. And not even for no religious shit, but just like, this is how you stand up. This is how you be a man. Stand 10 toes down for what you believe in. There's great stories everywhere. I wish I'd have known that story as a kid. I wish I'd have known that shit. Instead of the lies they tell about what happened to JFK and this and that, all this bullshit and this lobby and this corporate and this and that. Like, shit, that's a cold story. Even Zaynab's story, the sister, going back like a real G. Like, I'm gonna spread this story so the whole world knows. And what did you see? I saw nothing but beauty. She saw her family offed. Saw her family offed. What'd you see? I ain't gonna speak about I'm not gonna break. I'm not gonna show you. I'm not gonna talk about the pain. I'm gonna talk about the beauty of what I saw my brother do, stand up for his people and not give in. I wouldn't have had it any other way. Ooh. I know there's some cold stories about some crusades and some cold stories in the Bible. There's a lot of cold stories in the Bible I know about. A lot of vicious ones too. A lot of the stories in the Bible I know about, there's cold, vicious stories. That's inspirational. Even if you don't believe in Christianity or religion, it's still shit in there that you could derive inspiration and motivation from. Yeah. Yeah. And guess what? Our weak ass babies, they're going to be tormented and PTSD'd up. They're going to be MK Ultra murdering people out here for the shit that they did to them out there. Guess what they going to do? Guess what they going to do? They going to be like, nigga, like, we getting our revenge. We building up. against those emotional, weak, young, soft batch ass people over there. Emotional soft batch. Our kids is in Vegas. If they in Vegas playing that Call of Duty shit, when they find out, they done for. They're on the corners begging for food. In somebody's therapy chair, somebody's psychologist, somebody's medicine, somebody's drugs, somebody's alcohol, because they can't live with the shit that they did. While they out there building based off of what happened to them and they believe in their faith. Little niggas is gonna be out here. Gotta get a hot dog. Nigga done killed 100 damn people. What, they ain't taking care of you for all the shit that you done did for them? Ah, man, let me get some gas. The hell you talking about? Grind time? The hell you talking about? Why they producing more martyrs? Why we producing school shooters? Look at the whole chessboard. Look at the whole game. And now the latest martyr that's going to go down in history that inspired and motivate the whole country of people. They've named his son his replacement when they told us that he didn't have nobody left. There's nobody left. Yep. And here's his son. Who else is going to avenge who else is going to avenge somebody more than a son? Who else is going to be laser focused on an agenda than somebody who lost their daddy, who sacrifices his life to inspire? And you're like, shit, we might have been looking at shit the wrong way, cuz. We might have been looking at shit the wrong way. ZG, I told you I'm going in, man. Going in. We still here. It's 12 o'clock. Shit. Sheesh. We going in. From Abraham to Armageddon. Abraham to where we are right now. Still about him. Still about his lineage. Still about the families. Still about the bloodlines. Grind time, you got more niggas' names in your mouth. I mean, you got every nigga name in your mouth. Damn. How much time do you still spend thinking about other niggas? How much time you spend thinking about other niggas? Oh shit. Oh man. Like, don't erase this shit. Let his shit live so people can see how silly he is. I'm burnt out for the lid of the plug. God dog. Every time I see that cat, he got another nigga name in his mouth. Hey, what you think about the bottom of Dwight Howard feet? Yo, what? What's wrong with you, boy? I think he makes his own shit. Hey, what you in here playing? What you in here playing dumb for? Stop playing dumb. Be the best version of yourself. Grind time. I know you better than that. Somebody said, Rios, do you know what psypo? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Psyop anime. Oh, okay. Let me see. Do I know about psyop anime? Is it a certain one? So no, I have never seen this, but I'm going to share it. Tell me if this is what you're talking about. This is only like 30 seconds, so. This is what you talking about? PsyOp anime? Why the video so short? World Leader Strike, PsyOp anime. Damn, this shit got hella views too. Let me see. Hey, I need somebody to teach me how to do some of this shit with AI because I got some cold stories that I want to fucking put on. Let's look at one. Let's look at the reptilian ritual. Wait, who brought this up? Because I need to ask him if I'm in the right place. Eric Chapman. Thank you for the super chat. Much needed. Every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. This is how I'm up in here now for 3.5 hours. I've been here for 3.5 hours because of y'all. Because it's making sense. Trying to get the message across. Trying to do this. Is that who brought up PsyOp anime real quick? Who brought that up? Damn. Andre, am I in the right place watching that? Am I in the right place? Because they seem a little short. There might be a longer one, longer versions, or full videos. That shit is actually pretty dope. Where can I go see that shit? He got up in here, got up out of here. He told us about some shit and then jumped up out of here. They got Venezuela. Let's see this Trump one
先
real
ほ
quick.
どアメリカ合衆国軍はイランに対し大規模な戦闘作戦を開始した。このテロリスト政権に核兵器を持たせることは絶対にない。もう一度言う、核兵器を持つことは決してない。我々は彼らの核計画を壊滅させる。もし再建を試みるなら再び完全に壊滅させる。我々は彼らのミサイルを破壊し、そのミサイル産業を地上から一掃する。彼らの海軍を殲滅する。アメリカ合衆国軍の力と威力に挑戦する者は誰であれ、その代償を払うことになる。革命防衛隊及び全ての武装勢力に次ぐ。武器を捨てよ。完全な面積を与える。さもなくば確実な死を迎えることになる。イランの誇り高き国民へ自由の時は今。
Damn, this is actually pretty hard.
力と壊滅的な軍事力であなた方を支援。
This is pretty vicious. Yeah, Andre got up in here and got up out of here. I'm trying to see if that's the correct shit, man. Because it seems like this is just the trailers, like teaser trailers. Let me see. Psyop anime. Damn, my bad, you guys. I got distracted. Nope, that's got to be it because that's the only thing that comes up. Well, this one is 9 minutes long. Oh, that's just dope. That's just dope. But okay. All right, everybody. That is 3 hours, 40 minutes. Whew. Konnichiwa. Rios, I left Trey someone in pickleball, made 150 and came back like Jordan. Hey, more power to you, man. More power to you. That's what's up. Go out there and get your money. Pickleball, they be going at it in pickleball too. What, the psyop is lame? That's not, I like that shit, man. That shit is pretty tight to me. But okay. All right. I got to get ready. Got somebody coming over. Gonna set up something, recording for them. Shout out to y'all, man. We did the AM Wake Up Show. We did 3 hours and 40 minutes. We did the R Files last night. Probably gonna go back to the R Files later on tonight. Last night. Then we're gonna do it again tonight. But shout out to you guys, man. And hopefully I'm not gonna go late where I can wake up early in the morning and get in here at 5 a.m. and not have to. You already know. But shout out to y'all, man. Thank you for all of the super chats. I appreciate you. I'm not cracking like burnt out. I didn't get 150, but I got something. I'm not cracking like burnt out with the pickleball, but doing something. Doing something. Shout out to you, man. ZG, Best DB, all you guys, man. Gush Returns, everybody, Dago Dog. Ohio Ty, say Ufa, man. Everybody, shout out to all y'all, man, for being in here with me and taking the time to make an impact and to be in the live chat and just talking and chopping it up. We out of here. It's all love all the time. Go out there, be a blessing for somebody else. We making moves. Impactful moves, moves of meaning, being productive, purposely positive, pushing forward, man. Be a blessing for somebody else out there in the world. God is good. Stay vigilant, stay focused. We out. Thought we was out.
Ghetto cafe in the building, steam rising from the stove. We switching lanes, they don't want it, they just pose for the smoke. If it's about that coffee, we got the roast and the toast. Shots fired from the French press, let it drip slow and boast. Mornings on the west, sun low, but the grind stay woke. Ghetto cafe, steam in the breeze. Cruising through dreams with a mug and some peace. No drama, just cream, we deliver with ease. On the coast where the light never leaves. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Just cream, we deliver with ease. On the coast where the light never leaves. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth, let the wisdom flow. Coffee with Rios, pour it up slow. Steam in the city while the sun lay low. Coffee with Rios, starting the show. Sip real smooth. stove. We switching lanes, they don't want it, they just pose for the smoke. If it's about that coffee, we got the